Favorite ladies is here to close out the week with us. The talented Holland Taylor stopped by to chat with Hoda and Jenny,
that's what
as I like to call her, Jenna, about her new binge-worthy series.
So let's get started because it's time for
Today in 30. NBC national correspondent Miguel Almaguer with the latest. Miguel, good morning.
Savannah, good morning. The president unveiled several new mandates, all aimed at upping vaccinations. Here at Los Angeles County, the LAUSD decided they would ask all students 12 and older to be vaccinated before the end of the year. Across the country, many believe those changes could help turn the course of the pandemic.
With the Delta variant fueling more than 100,000 daily COVID cases and some hospitals running out of ICU beds, this morning President Biden is putting pressure on the unvaccinated.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
The president's sweeping new mandates requiring all federal workers and contractors be vaccinated. His plan also calls on OSHA to issue an emergency rule that any company with 100 or more employees vaccinate its workforce or require testing at least once a week. In all, the White House says it'll affect 100 million workers in the public and private sectors.
We're going to reduce the spread of COVID-19 by increasing the share of the workforce that is vaccinated in businesses all across America.
The plan sparking conservative backlash.
Joe, you canceled all medical freedom today.
Some pointing to this answer from the president in 2020 on whether the COVID vaccine should be mandatory.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory.
Now the Republican National Committee and several GOP governors are already threatening legal action.
We will defend and protect our people from this unlawful mandate.
As the Biden administration calls on governors to mandate teachers be vaccinated, the nation's second largest school system in Los Angeles is going a step further. The LA School Board voting late Thursday to require vaccines for all students 12 and over.
So important as we try to build herd immunity and so forth to be vaccinated.
Some parents opposed to the move.
It should be left up to the parents to make this decision.
Stick around because there's much more coming up on Today in 30.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us?
Yes. There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are. Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
And we're back with America Remembers, marking the terror attacks of 9/11. 20 years later, the scars do remain, especially for those directly impacted, like the children whose parents never came home.
Yeah, I recently visited the 9/11 Museum to meet three men so inspired by the heroism of their fathers, they chose to follow in their footsteps and become first responders themselves.
We have a breaking news story to tell you about. A plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center.
What's it like to be here in the 9/11 Museum, carrying this memory forward, 20-year anniversary, Chris?
This year it's a little more, you can just feel it a little bit more. It's on every channel you watch. We're constantly reminded every single day of our loss, but this time of year it just seems to be magnified. It's a little more visceral, a little more painful.
Chris Gansey, Rob Sendry, and James Dowdell all had fathers in the FDNY, firefighters who rushed to the scene that morning and answered not just a call, but a calling.
It's kind of surreal that we're here 20 years later. You know, it's gone by in the blink of an eye.
Rob's dad, Ray, was far from the front lines, on light duty that day because of an injury. But when word came, he sprang into action anyway, hitching a ride downtown with a news truck. And when that hit traffic, he switched to an ambulance and kept going.
He wasn't going to miss it. He was going to be there, and he was going to do anything he could to get there and help out. That was just his nature.
Ray was last seen running into the North Tower. It was the day after Rob's 11th birthday. James' father, Kevin, was part of Rescue 4 in Queens. No one in his company survived. It was James's first day of senior year. Is there some comfort in knowing that people are remembering and they're forced to remember?
Yes, everyone says never forget, and when people remember, that does mean something, because at the end of the day, all we have is the legacies of our fathers.
Chris, your father was chief of department, one of the supervisors that day. What do you remember?
As far as my father went, I was, naive, I guess, in the sense that the chief of department, he's the #1 guy, right? So he would be removed from the situation. But thinking about it now and really digging into the type of person my father was, Pete Gansey was not the type of guy to lead from behind. And if he was going to put somebody in harm's way, he was going to be right next to him. And on that day, he was no different.
A father of 3, Chief Gansey used to say he really had 10,000 kids, all the men and women under his command. He was the highest-ranking firefighter to die that day.
You can come into this beautiful place and you can just think about how many lives were touched by the sacrifice of Jimmy and Rob, my dad, and the countless others of first responders who never made it home that day.
The guys grew up idolizing their dads, their little footsteps often found in the firehouse, soaking up the magic and the camaraderie. After 9/11, they followed their father's footsteps into the FDNY. Rob, an EMT, Chris, now a battalion chief, his father's brass forever pinned on his collar. And James, a firefighter in the very engine house where his father once worked. It's a way to hold hands with your fathers, to carry on their work that they gave so much for.
My father's died for this uniform, so to put it on is a huge honor. It's definitely something to be proud of.
This is what I was supposed to do, and it's been an unbelievable gift that he's been able to give me in his passing.
But Chris, you were on a totally different track.
Oh, totally different.
You got your master's in
business. You know what my father would be doing right now? He would say, why did I spend $200,000 on an Ivy League school when I could have bought a boat? But I always feel I have to make a tough decision or something going on. I got a little piece of him watching over me.
Their father's memories and spirits are never far from mind. There was the moment Rob, at a probationary ceremony, visited the memorial, pausing where his father's name is inscribed.
We were standing up there, getting ready to lay the wreath. We were talking about my dad because we were right at the corner where my dad's name was. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw something fall. And I was just kind of like going to brush it off my shoulder.
It was a butterfly that had come to rest.
It was a very special moment because it stayed there for about 15 minutes. It really helped me out that day because it wasn't very easy to come down here. Definitely brought some comfort, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little piece of his spirit flying by.
For sure.
And finally, Rob, this is a moment where the world is focused again on that terrible day. What would you want them to remember?
My dad, Chris's father, James' father, they're not just, pictures. They were people with families that loved them. Their stories are just 3 stories of many from that day, but us talking about them is important to keep their memory and their legacy alive.
more than pictures. You know, they all were so positive about the way their lives changed that day. You know, like so many people who lived through 9/11, there's before and there's after. And of course, there's so much grief and after 20 years, but they also talked about how their father's loss propelled them to this mission in this life and this calling that they otherwise wouldn't have. They lost their father, but they found brothers, that closeness. And in fact, Chris told me that he thinks he said, in another life, I wrote a children's book about 9/11. It's called Chief, and he read it at school and met his wife that way.
Oh, man.
So they really feel their father's memories and their spirits and their impact.
You felt the comfort that they got from their fathers. That was so beautiful.
That butterfly story.
That's crazy.
I know, and that's just 3 stories. You think about
And also
all the
Rob's
firefighters
dad,
who
like
lost.
he was saying, his dad had light duty that day, and he took, planes, trains, and automobiles just to get to.
You know
that really defines the heroism of the first responders that day. That he would be, everybody's going the other way.
You know, here's the thing. His name was Raymond York. He was actually doing fire education right here at 30 Rock. He was Fireman Ray for the little kids because he had injured himself. But when he heard it, he got on a news truck coming right from here, went all the way down. They stopped him. The news truck couldn't go further. He got out. He got in an ambulance, went back down.
I
mean, that's
that story. That's it right there.
That's it. Yeah.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Well, football's back, and so is our special series, Today Food Loves Football. All season long, we're going to be bringing you tasty recipes in honor of the Sunday night game here on NBC. This week, Chicago Bears against the LA Rams out on the West Coast. Joining us, we got JJ Johnson of Field Trip Restaurant right here at 30 Rock. But JJ, bear with me. Before we get to the recipes, let's just wrap up our tailgating bracket. A few moments ago, I mentioned Nachos won the title, took down Cheeseburgers. It crushed Wings in semifinals. And that was welcome news to Savannah Guthrie, who saw her dreaded bones with sauce, as she refers to Wings, go down in flames. But I've been on a mission to convince Savannah that wings are actually wonderful. We have a plate of wings for you. You obviously have gotten bad wings in your life, so hopefully these will be good for you. There's buffalo sauce, there's blue cheese. Yeah. So please, smell them, take them all in, Savannah. And let me give you just a quick history lesson. Wings were born in 1964 by the co-owner of the Anchor Bar in Buffalo, New York. As the story goes, she accidentally ordered chicken wings instead of chicken necks, needed to find a way to use them. The creation was put on the menu, became a hit, and the rest is history. According to the American Chicken Council, we eat 1.3 billion wings leading up to and during the Super Bowl alone. So, Savannah, let me just help you out on this quest. Here are 5 reasons why wings are wonderful. To start, they're the perfect group food. Like you can get a big plate of wings and share it easily with a big group.
Funny. Yes.
Number 2, wings have a higher skin to meat percentage than any other part of the chicken.
Really?
3, wings are mechanically appealing to human beings because of the bone and the size. You can eat a lot of wings without any hassle to get to the good stuff, like crab legs or fish, right? Number 4, they're wings. Who else has wings?
Yes.
Angels. Number 5, wings are American with humble roots. They're meant to be shared, and they come with the promise of spending quality time with your people. I'm telling you, friends, family, maybe your partner. Most importantly, your kids. Savannah Guthrie, wings are indeed wonderful.
Carson Daly, a round of applause.
For
the win. No, I mean, I love wings.
You're a professional in the business.
I love wings. Everybody should have wings. You should have wings for Super Bowl with your family, everything.
Yes.
But
Preach, brother.
I didn't make wings because your wings look delicious. I'm doing some nachos.
Okay. We're gonna get to. Did you eat a wing yet, Savannah?
I did, and I have to say, when I did
Better?
actually get chicken, it was good, but I got a lot of bone. I'm
You gotta
sorry,
push
it
it.
was bones with sauce.
It's how she
Nothing
eats
else
it.
got a
Al,
good
show her
one.
how to turn,
Yeah, you have to
like
bite
corn
it.
on the cob. You gotta turn it a little bit. Open up your real estate.
Yeah,
Bite.
okay.
You gotta open it.
And also,
JJ, what
Angels
am I
with
gonna do?
wings
Sorry.
is really amazing.
That's the best part of the wing is the
Well,
bone.
we got nachos, cheeseburger. Let's talk about football on Sunday, though, JJ, because we got the Rams out in LA. You got nachos, and you're gonna do.
I'm doing a little bit of plantain nachos.
This is hype. This is like
some
mouth
pork butt.
thruster. Pork butt.
We're gonna braise it in beer because it's football season. So I got some pork butt here.
Why pork butt?
It's just fatty. It's delicious. It takes in all the flavor that you want, and you know we're gonna use a little bit of celery, carrots, chili. I'm a spicy guy, so. We're gonna throw this all in your pot.
And you can do this all earlier, right? And just kind of prep it before you
can do
load
this
the nachos.
all earlier. If you have kids, you can let this rock. If you forget about it, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna add in the beer here. I just want to bring this up to a
Any
little bit
particular
of simmer.
beer? You like a darker beer? Does it matter?
I think whatever beer you like. What do you have here? We have some Goose Island IPA,
This is great.
right?
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Delicious.
You should cook with what you drink. So,
Okay.
chicken stock. We'll bring that up to a simmer. A little tomato paste, and then we'll throw the pork right in and top it off. But let's get into the flavor. So
it's really good.
We got some avocado crema here, some yogurt, a little bit of garlic, lemon juice. Now my friends always ask me, how do you cut the avocado like this? I don't want anybody holding the avocado in their hand in the air anymore.
Right through.
Just right here on the cutting board, roll it around really nice.
Right. Clear the digits.
There you go. Boom.
Beautiful. All right.
Okay.
Good tip there.
Mix this around. Now, this isn't your average nachos. We're taking plantain chips.
This is genius.
So right? Okay, so plantain
Unbelievable.
chips. Look at this here. Look at the pork, everybody. It's delicious.
This is
Just
brilliant.
spread this all around.
Does that
Come
make them
on.
healthier,
Now,
JJ?
No.
it cooked in beer.
Okay, so no.
Wow, that's great.
But if you're a vegetarian, you don't need the pork.
No.
But if you're a
It's so
vegan, you
good.
don't need
You're
the
right.
pork.
Yeah.
Add your black
You're not
beans.
even doing chips. You're just doing plantain chips as your tortilla
you
chip.
can put the black beans. You can use coconut yogurt
crema,
here.
some
Avocado
cheese.
crema.
It's really good.
Cheese. I hear it's really good over there.
It is
magnificent.
delicious.
Look at this.
The
Spread this
plantain
all
chips
on.
are genius.
This is
Little Monterey
cheddar,
Jack.
Monterey Jack.
It makes it a little
Then
different.
if you like spice right here, pickle jalapenos, throw those on top.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
JJ, that's
Come on.
awesome. That is nacho on another level.
These should have been in the competition.
Yes.
These right here.
Nacho average nachos.
Not your average nachos. Oh, my beer.
Okay.
Got you.
Okay.
Delish.
All right.
How do you do your burgers?
Just throw them on the grill. Probably like an 80-20 mix.
Okay.
Content.
80-20 mix is what it's about. I want everybody to start going to your butcher shop.
Okay.
I want you to get chuck, short rib. Have them add in a little bit more
yeah.
fat.
Yep.
But the most important part when you're with the burger is making sure it is even, so it cooks evenly. So get that ice cream scoop, scoop it out. Use some ring molds.
I didn't know that.
So don't have a ball. Make it flat and
No, right here. Get the ice cream scoop right here. Put it in get your ring mold, scoop it in,
Yep.
It's the whole
pack it in
process.
like
Where do you get
this.
those rings?
Again, this
What's
is a
in here?
family
Is this just ground
activity.
chuck or
this
something,
is 80-20, your
80-20,
favorite.
okay,
So 80%
But I see bacon
chuck.
burgers now. People put short rib.
You do a little brisket.
You can
I like to
mix
put a little
it.
brisket in.
You can take the pork that you braise
Yep,
in the
and-
nachos and throw it
Now
in
you're
here.
talking.
I am a cast iron guy though.
Yeah, I like cast iron.
Okay?
Use it on the barbecue also?
I like to put it right on the grill.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Put your cast iron pan right on the
do that,
grill.
Al?
Yeah, I do.
It's good. Al knows, right?
Yeah.
And then you get that going. As you're melting your cheese, turn the heat up, but then bring the top to get that cheese to melt.
Yes, sir.
That's a really important part.
How are we going to elevate this cheeseburger?
Okay. So, my kids like to put French fries on their burgers.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like to put hot Cheetos.
Oh, here
Hot
we go.
Cheetos.
Wow.
Hot
That's
Cheetos
what that
on
is.
the
That
burger.
is.
Come on.
Cheetos.
They're
Okay.
so good. Cheetos on the
Let's go.
burger.
It's fantastic.
Caramelized onions.
Amazing.
And the burger itself is good too. So I mean,
Hot
it's just
Cheeto on the burger.
Look at
A
this
winning
caramelized
combo.
onions. If you don't like hot Cheetos, you can use gumbo spice.
Doritos?
There's so much. Yeah, you can do Doritos.
That's fun.
Look at this.
The
Great
onions
flavor.
are fantastic.
The what?
So creative.
So good.
caramelized
I got to
onions.
cheers you for this one.
Oh my gosh.
JJ, yet again, you have crushed it. We're going to be thinking about the Sunday night football game. Bears
Food is
out
bad.
in Los Angeles, loaded nachos, elevated with the beef, the pork butt.
Oh my gosh, plantain
This is
chips.
crazy.
And we're going to have you come downstairs to field trip. We're right here at 30 Rock. Come right downstairs
Yeah.
in the concourse. We'd love to have you.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show.
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
What is your favorite part about the Today Show?
Hoda and Jenna, their spirit is so wonderful. I haven't been on that often, but whenever I come, I'm always very warmed by them. And I love how they can, if it needs be, they can switch gears and talk about something very serious and somber with real heart.
We're busting. We're so happy. Emmy Award-winning actress Holland Taylor is a powerhouse star of both stage and screen.
Early in her career, she starred alongside a young Tom Hanks. Everybody remembers this in the 1980s sitcom Bosom Buddies.
Remember, she taught Reese Witherspoon a thing or two in Legally Blonde, and she's sticking with teaching in her new gig. She plays Professor Joan Hambling opposite Sandra Oh at the fictional Pembroke University in Netflix The Chair.
Okay, people are talking about this
Buzzy.
show. Yes, but things get a little dicey when her character finds out a student gave her a negative review. Take a look.
If he posts again and say we were at the library,
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to recognize the guy.
that shouldn't be too hard.
What are you gonna do if you catch him?
Destroy him, Joan said jokingly, when that's exactly what she was planning to do.
Oh, we cannot wait. The Chair is going to be amazing. First of all, can we just say we love you? We're so happy you're sitting with us today.
Both. I love you, and I'm so cheered by you in this period that we're living through. You have such wonderful spirits, so I'm glad to see you.
What's it like being back? And this is your city.
Well,
You're a city
it is
girl.
my city. Well, I came back about a month ago, and then now, and it is a joy to be in New York City. I'm an urban girl, and this is the greatest city on earth as far as I'm concerned, and it's coming back to life. People have a great survival and rebuilding spirit.
You feel
and
it.
You feel it. You absolutely feel it.
And Broadway is back
Broadway
next
is back
week.
next week, I think.
Yes, next week, and that's how you started. You started
I did.
on the stage.
Yes, for 15 or so years before I did anything in LA. Which was Bosom Buddies, my first job in LA. When you said a young Tom Hanks, it was not a young Holland Taylor. But that was my first job out there, and it was with him. Can you imagine?
Was he the same as he is today, Tom Hanks? Back then?
He is exactly who you think he is. And also a very dear and very loyal friend. I mean, here you've heard that Tom writes letters. He has a million typewriters. Every so often you open up the mail and there's a letter from Tom. Forever, for years. It's been 35, 40 years now, so he's wonderful.
You just said something that stuck with me, that it took you a while to get where you were going. But when you first started, your parents said, okay, well, Holland, you need to have a backup plan.
Yes.
And you said what?
I said, no, I don't. Because when I was like 13, I mean, what did I know about the realities of trying to get into show business, which, by the way, was much easier then than now. Just the sheer numbers of people who want to be in show business. Our society, you know, makes it seem very possible for everybody.
How did you handle rejection? Such a part of this industry. How you seem like such a tender heart. Like, how did you handle the rejection?
It was hard. I did have some hard times. I once did an audition for something that I wanted so desperately, and I didn't get it, and I was crushed by it. And years later, I mean, 15 years later, the director, who was then the reader with me at the audition, said that was the greatest audition I've ever seen before or since.
Wait, what?
Because you just don't get it.
No, you don't get it.
Yeah, I could have not gotten it because I didn't look right for it. There's a million reasons. So it's very important for actors to just disengage from the winning or the losing, because it doesn't mean a thing.
Well, and what about people? You know, we talk about when you read the comments, you're playing this professor who has a bad review, and you're stuck in it.
Well,
like
she doesn't normally pay any attention to that. Like I said, did you read your student evaluation? When did you read them? She said 1987. The fact is, she's got her head in books. She's a real scholar. To be a medievalist, as they call people who teach like Chaucer, you have to speak all the European languages fluently, read them fluently, because it's all about language and the birth of modern English. Chaucer wrote in, 1400, or the 1400s. So it's like not anything that's accessible to you. So you're in books, you're thinking about millennia ago, just different times. And so she's not current.
Okay, but we want to play a little game.
We love a game. Do you love a game?
No.
Okay, we're calling this game Holland Tail or. All right, so we're going to list a co-star from one of your countless we don't know.
Tail or song,
whatever you want. So maybe share a tale about one of these actors that you worked with. Okay, so how about Reese Witherspoon from Legally Blonde?
Oh, Reese Witherspoon. First of all, she is so darling in Legally Blonde, and she remains exactly the same. But this is smart as a tack.
Yes.
You know, Professor Stromwell is very, very blithe and acts like she's sort of a dim bulb. But Reese is very sharp.
Have you heard back about Legally Blonde 3?
I haven't heard word 1, which is not encouraging.
Yeah, Reese, we got to give a word 1.
I have mastered the ability to disengage myself from any expectations. I really, at my age, I find, whatever.
Tell us a little bit about Sandra Oh.
Oh, well. Now, first of all, I love doing this show so much for the reason that I wore no makeup. I decided for this character that I would wear no makeup and do nothing with my hair. I said, I'll put a comb in my hair for when I'm teaching. So
that's your look.
Other than that, nothing. So my hair was like a wispy old lady's, just flying around, nothing like this. Yeah. No makeup but lipstick, because I figure lipstick is the last thing to go. So then I watched the show, and I went, who is that? Who is that old lady with the little rabbit eyes? And I had no mascara on.
By the way, I love that you said lipstick is the last thing to go.
It's true. My grandma Jenna put on lipstick until the very end, and when she stopped.
Yeah, you watch out. But Sandra Oh, you asked about her. She is a genius actress. She works so hard you can't imagine. She has broken down every scene and thought about it from every angle before you even get there.
We love you.
Yes.
I mean, we knew we were going to enjoy this conversation. I just didn't know we were going to enjoy it quite this much.
We wanted to keep going. They've been trying to wrap us, and we're like, we're ignoring you. We ignore you while we talk to
It's lovely to see you.
Thank you, Holland.
We have a really special event we want to tell you about. It'll be next Monday on Today. We're hosting a one-of-a-kind coronavirus in the classroom town hall right on our plaza.
Yeah, it's going to be really informative. It'll be a great morning. We'll take your questions, and we hope you'll join us. Have a great weekend.
This morning on Mr. Smith Goes To, He goes to St. Louis. More than a century and a half ago, America's racial divide was challenged by a courageous man who wanted better for his family.
Yeah, that man was a slave named Dred Scott. He would become a central part of one of the most consequential Supreme Court cases in the history of this country. Harry traveled to the gateway to the West to take a look at how the work Scott started is still being pushed forward today. Hey, Harry.
Yeah, good morning, guys. You know, it's interesting. I was in St. Louis for a story about 2 years ago, walking by the old courthouse. There's an important statue there. And I said to myself, I really need to know more about these people. So we went back this summer to find out.
It is a landmark familiar to many, near the Arch in St. Louis, the old courthouse, a grand temple of justice, but not for all.
This is the building where Dred and Harriet Scott actually walked up the steps on April 6th of 1846 to sue for their freedom.
Lynn Jackson knows the story well. Dred Scott was her great-great-grandfather.
I'm very proud of Dred Scott because he was courageous to do what he did at a time when it was considered sedition.
Scott was a slave whose owner had moved his family to the free state of Illinois. Based on a doctrine called once free, always free, Scott sued.
He was not willing to run and put his wife and little girls in jeopardy of being caught.
The case lasted more than a decade, ultimately decided by the Supreme Court and Chief Justice Roger Taney, who wrote that blacks were, quote, regarded as beings of an inferior order, altogether unfit to associate with the white race, and so far inferior that they had no rights which the white man was bound to respect.
He, in essence, said, you are not a citizen of the United States. Mm-hmm. You have no rights. Is that the way you read it?
Definitely, he did say that.
Abolitionists were outraged. Slaveholders were vindicated and emboldened. The Civil War, all but inevitable.
I think that one of the struggles we have in America is that we think about the Civil War as ending all of racism. And what the Civil War did is that it ended slavery in America. But we then had Jim Crow and Jane Crow. We had these laws that solidified racism and a racial hierarchy in America.
Lerone Martin is the head of American Culture Studies at Washington University in St. Louis. He believes the backwash of the Dred Scott decision still ripples through our society.
I see fear, and I see the inability to recognize the human in the other. The inability to recognize that African Americans are actually human beings who, in my tradition, we say all human beings are made in the image of God.
That refusal to recognize humanity lived out in nearby Ferguson 6 years ago, where Michael Brown's body lay unattended for 4 hours after a police shooting.
What do we want? Justice!
The town erupted. We stood in that very spot.
Did Michael Brown's death have anything to do with you running for mayor?
It had everything to do with me running for mayor.
In the tumult of the protests, Ella Jones felt a calling. The former pharmaceutical chemist and Mary Kay rep wants to lead her town and her police force to a better future.
Can you make a difference?
It's all about making a difference. This election has given people hope. And even now, people are stepping up. This is going to be an amazing city. I'm counting on it. I'm counting on it.
Ella Jones is undeterred as she faces the task ahead, as was the man buried in an unremarkable section of a massive St. Louis cemetery not all that far away.
Here is this fantastically courageous person.
Well, he had to be. You know, in some regards, I think he was also thrust into that role. You know, he kept it going. And he said, you know, I really wanted my wife and my daughters to be free. But he realized that the freedom of all Africans who were enslaved was at stake.
And that gravesite in St. Louis is the most frequently visited stone in all of in that giant cemetery. People, strangers come up, they say, "Where is Dred Scott?" That's the one little tiny spot that is visited most often.
Way to connect history to the president, Mr. Smith. That was great.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Harry.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show.
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you? You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Even as the pandemic kept so many of us at home, nearly 30 million people in the U.S. moved to a new home in 2020.
More than 4 million of those folks, by the way, they jumped from one state to another, and the destinations might surprise you.
So our buddy Harry Smith joins us now. Harry, good morning. It's good to see you, as always. So we know that people are leaving major cities like New York here, San Francisco, L.A., Seattle. The question is that Craig just asked, where's everybody going?
Well, you know, it's so interesting what happened during the pandemic. I think a lot of people looked at their lives and said, if I'm going to live someplace, why not live in a place I've always wanted to live, or go someplace that's maybe more affordable or has more recreational opportunities? Well, the answer for many, many people is Idaho.
Mark Jenkins and Lori Crowell love their new home.
And when did you move in here?
5 days ago.
Oh, it's that new house smell.
It is.
Brand new, in fact.
Man, how happy are you with this?
Oh, ecstatic.
Love it. Absolutely love it. It's beautiful.
Lots in their subdivision on the outskirts of Boise sell within days of going on the market. Boise, in case you haven't heard, is booming.
We knew we wanted to move, we didn't know where.
Right.
And we had an idea it was Boise.
It's got the quality of life that we had in Seattle, but on a smaller scale.
At least for the moment, that is. Idaho is the fastest growing state in the country. Real estate values in Boise are up 32% in the last year. 32%. Where there had been no new rental apartment construction in decades, developer Casey Lynch is putting up his 4th downtown building in just 5 years.
Can you literally not build these things fast enough?
At this moment in time, you can't build them fast enough. It's like a cultural phenomenon. Boise is just on the tip of everybody's tongue right now, where 10 years ago, people thought Boise was in Iowa.
Not anymore. Most every day, newcomers arrive from California, Seattle, and Portland. Longtime locals like Carrie Despot are not pleased.
Everyone that comes from somewhere else always says Boise. They act like there's a Z in Boise. There's no Z. It's Boise.
And what Carrie sees, she does not like.
What's changed for me is growing up here, I would look at these foothills every day, and I love these foothills. We no longer get to see our pretty foothills, we see houses.
Carrie echoes a common local lament.
We can't say you can't come to Idaho, but I wish that we could slow down, take into account what we do have, keep it pristine, because otherwise it's just going to be another California.
As the population grows and prices increase, Boise faces other pressures, like the soaring cost of apartment rentals.
Demand for rental assistance for tenants has just skyrocketed.
Allie Robbie runs a nonprofit geared to aid and prevent homelessness.
Over the last year, we've seen a lot more people moving into hotels, their cars, couch surfing, living right on the line, about to go to shelter.
So there's a housing shortage for both those who want to move to Boise and those being priced out of the market.
How do you keep Boise, Boise?
That's the challenge of our time.
Before she was mayor, Lauren McLean led the fight for open space here. Her challenges now, affordable housing, water preservation, and catching up to the speed of her city's growth.
We recognize the magic of this community that we live in. We have welcomed each other for years. There are a lot of challenges that come with it, but it gives us a focus.
Morning.
Newcomers Mark and Lori, whose home has increased a whopping 60% in value since they purchased it a year ago, feel like they've won the lottery.
We have friends of ours who we've met since we've been here, chiropractors. They said, welcome to Boise, don't tell anyone else. And it's sort of like, the secret's out, sorry.
Best kept secret.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's already out, everybody knows about it.
Yeah, so much for the best kept secret. I'll tell you, when we landed in Boise, it reminded me of when I first went to Denver 50 years ago and looked around, and here's this beautiful, sleepy, kind of sublime place right near the foothills. And boy, there's just a kind of crazy growing energy there now. And you have to sympathize with the locals, like, how do we keep this from exploding into a thing where we want to leave? Yeah,
Right.
it's really quite something.
That is tough. I have to admit, I've never been to Idaho, and those pictures, Harry, look absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous.
So I see why people
almost as gorgeous as where I am today. And if you look this up, you'll understand where I am in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You were there yesterday as well, Harry. Are you working on some?
No.
surprise
I was in the
stories?
top of the mitten yesterday,
Oh.
and now I'm all the way in the
Careful.
top.
He's
in the
moving.
top part. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Careful with that
absolutely.
hand analogy,
Are,
Harry.
are you
Well, they
using,
call it the upper hand. They call it the upper hand.
Are you using the pandemic to move as well, or are you coming back at some point?
I'm just wandering around America, and
yes.
I'm pretty darn happy about it.
You look
I'm
great,
on
Harry.
vacation.
Oh, you're on vacation.
Only Harry
And
Smith
he's
works on
working.
vacation.
I'll tell you what about Boise, though. I went there when I was a kid. We went whitewater rafting down the Payette River, which is inside Boise National Forest, south of Boise, which is super fun. They also have a thriving art scene in downtown Boise. You might be thinking country. They have an art, a bunch of contemporary art in the museum there. Yeah, so that's why people are going there for a lot. They have it all.
Super thriving downtown, but recreational opportunities abound everywhere. Amazing skiing within 2 hours at max.
Well, that was great.
But all those places are exploding too.
And now I will say Boise. I have to admit, I
Boise.
thought it was Boise.
That's my
So
big
there you
takeaway. She was not happy
She
that
was
people didn't mispronounce it.
You don't want to sound like you're from out of town.
go. Do not. All right, that was great.
Thanks, Harry. Appreciate it, buddy.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh, yes. With Xfinity X5.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Joe Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Is that ready? Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
While much of America is finally returning to a sense of normalcy this summer, Harry Smith is taking us to one place that's being impacted by the pandemic in a positive way. Harry, good morning. Where are you, buddy?
We are on the banks of, Little Traverse Bay. We're way up at the top of the Mitten in Michigan. And just trust me, on this journey I'm going to take you on, if you make a left-hand turn, you get into Chicago. But if you go up all the way back around here, under the Mackinac Bridge, through Lake Huron, ultimately into Lake Erie, at the end of Lake Erie, you're in Buffalo. But if you're in the right place at the right time, you're going to think you're in Toronto.
Batting practice. The home team Toronto Blue Jays are taking their cuts. But Toronto, this is not. It's Buffalo. COVID closed the Canadian border, so the Blue Jays are a little like the Flying Dutchman, the mythical ship doomed to never return home. The Blue Jays played here last year, too.
We weren't home, and we wanted to be home, and we were the only team of 30 that was not able to play in their home city, country, stadium, all those things.
Mark Shapiro is the Blue Jays president and CEO.
Did you ever imagine that you would be back here again?
Did any of us ever imagine we'd be back here?
So the Blue Jays spent millions to upgrade minor league Salem Field up to major league standards.
This is a good major league
Big
clubhouse.
room for everybody.
Yeah.
And if some of the Blue Jays feel like it's deja vu all over again, it's because they played here when they were with the Buffalo Bisons, Toronto's top farm club.
I played here in 2019 in AAA, and the renovations that the team has done here to get it ready for a big league atmosphere is it's incredible.
Last year, because of COVID, there were no fans. This year, from day one, Western New Yorkers have let the Blue Jays know they are most welcome here.
Coming to Buffalo this year, everything they've done and the fans pulling for us have been great. It feels like a home game.
The Buffalo fans are actually great. I think we're kind of getting the Bills Mafia a little bit on our side, so they've been great, good baseball fans.
It was incredible. That was an immediate moment that, this could be a hometown advantage for us. We found a second home, and it's Buffalo.
Buffalo, a boom town of the Industrial Revolution, has buildings aplenty that pay homage to its glorious past. Architecture that reveals its pride and ambition. An ambition that included Major League Baseball.
Harry, back in the 1890s, Buffalo was a member of the National League. Then in 1915, they were in the Federal League. But in 1901, they were that close to getting a franchise in the American League, and it went to Boston.
The town has been yearning for a big league team ever since, says local baseball historian Mike Bellani. And now they have it, like a dream come true.
Oh my gosh, it's Major League Baseball. It's the Yankees, it's, Houston. Now Boston's coming in a couple of weeks. It's just been phenomenal.
Buffalo's most famous brush with the majors was a fictional team, the New York Knights. Its star, Roy Hobbs, played by Robert Redford in The Natural. Shot in Buffalo, the old War Memorial Stadium, the perfect venue for a movie that celebrates the magic of the game. We spoke with Bellani alongside what's left of the stadium, what locals call the old rock pile. He had something he wanted to show me.
And they engraved Wonder Boy.
Wow. Hand sanded by Kevin Lester, a local man who crafted the bats for Redford.
This is the first time since '83 that has been out of his house, not in his possession.
Ba-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-da, ba-da-da-da.
That I didn't see coming. Yes, Buffalo loves baseball.
This is a treat to be able to see the game, my team here in Buffalo.
It's an amazing opportunity for us to watch, professionals at the top of their game. We've been watching Vlad since he was a Bison.
When they said they were coming back this year and we were going to be able to have a chance to come out and see him play, it's every day is Christmas for me. Can't get any better.
And this thing with the Blue Jays, they know it's not forever. More like a summer romance.
Which is pretty cool for us to kind of forge a piece of history. This is going to be we're going to look back 20 years and this will be a part of Buffalo history and Blue Jay history.
Something to be treasured, an affair to remember.
So if you're a Western New Yorker, if you're anywhere within driving distance of Buffalo, my gosh, the clock is ticking. The Blue Jays petitioned yesterday the government of Canada to please let us come home to Toronto and the Rogers Center. at the end of the month.
Hey, Harry, could this open the door for an actual, team in Buffalo now that they see there's such a need for it?
There was a dalliance last time there was Major League expansion, and what the teams went to Denver, and I'm not so sure. They need a bigger metropolitan area.
Well, I like the phrase summer romance. Like, you know what I mean? They can enjoy it while they have it. That was
and I got to swing Wonder Boy.
Strike three.
That was a great one, Harry, as always.
Thanks, buddy. Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are the Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh yes. With Xfinity X5.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
As comfort food goes, it's tough to beat a good grilled cheese sandwich. And those classic melty staples of the American diet taste all the better at one Minneapolis restaurant. Harry Smith explains in our Sunday Closer.
A perfectly crafted grilled cheese sandwich is a deliciously deceptive entree. For at All Square in Minneapolis, the sandwich is both lure and lesson.
Why is it called All Square?
We do grilled cheese, it's a part of what we do, but this notion that once you've done your time and paid your debts, you're all square.
Yes, All Square is a social enterprise. Its purpose, says founder Emily Hunt Turner, to truly free the formerly incarcerated by giving them the life and job skills to make it on the outside.
Do you feel like the table is set against them?
We would argue that recidivism rates are as high as they are, not because of an underlying propensity for criminality, but because the doors to prison are really some of the only doors that are actually open once you get out of prison.
Fellows in the program are paid a living wage and taught the kind of people skills we all could use a little more of. Because if you've done time, good luck finding housing or even opening a bank account.
So many doors have been closed and in my face.
Anika Goodluck spent 10 years in and out of the criminal justice system, then was accepted into All Square's one-year program.
I was doing the same stuff over and over, and I was getting the same outcome, jail. This place has showed me a different road, a different way of life.
The coursework and the camaraderie all helped, she says, but therapy that was part of the All Square curriculum for her was key.
Understanding and identifying what I was feeling at the time and working through whatever that was and hearing stuff I didn't want to hear half of the times, but I needed to hear because it was the truth.
Anika has her own catering business now, employs 3 people, and wants to hire 2 more. All Square began with a Kickstarter campaign and has grown because of the diligence of a mission-driven staff, the embrace of the community, and the vision of its founder, a former lawyer who gave up a career for a calling, justice for all.
I always knew that this would be a huge part of my life. What I didn't understand was that this would become, in ways, my family, and thank God I have this family, you know.
Emily thinks All Square is scalable and that people like Anika are proof.
Does prison life look like it's getting smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror?
That's not even in the mirror anymore, so I never want to forget where I was and what it took for me to get out of there, because I don't ever want to go back.
If the Olympics got you craving for a little Japan, Harry Smith's got just what you need. Harry.
Well, you know, I watched Keir Simmons do all these great pieces.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, come on. So we decided what we could find right here in Brooklyn.
Where are we today? Tokyo? Kyoto? No, this Japanese garden, more than 100 years old, is in Brooklyn, the Botanic Gardens, where from time to time you can have tea, the Japanese way.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Japanese tea ceremony today.
Keiko Kitazawa is our guide. The Japanese tea ceremony is centuries old
So let's make a bowl of tea for you.
and can take up to 4 hours.
I'm going to purify all utensils before serving tea.
Okay.
But not this morning.
So now I'm going to add the tea powder.
The ancient ceremony is meant to imbue harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility.
Wow. May I just say,
Yes,
this is not chai from Starbucks.
it is different. Highest quality matcha that we are using.
The tea ceremony puts you in a different place if you let it.
How is this?
Perfect.
Thank you.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Tranquility achieved. Now it's time to eat.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Irashaimase. Welcome to Ichiran.
Thank you.
Ichiran, ubiquitous in Japan, has 3 restaurants in New York, serving one thing.
So we only specialize in pork bone soup ramen.
Period.
Yes.
No sushi, no sashimi, no soba, just ramen.
I think I'm going to be medium with everything.
Safe choices for the first timer. But here's the twist.
For someone you don't want to interact with anyone at all, this is the perfect restaurant for
So
that.
that's what these kind of...
Partitions are for it, yes. You
Yeah.
keep them up. The server doesn't have to speak to you if you don't want to. You have your own private space to yourself to enjoy your meal.
Okay.
A ramen restaurant for the recluse.
Thank you.
The ramen is ridiculously delicious. But man cannot live by ramen alone.
We're at Brooklyn Koro. We're a sake brewery based in New York City in Sunset Park, Brooklyn.
Brandon Dawn and Brian Poland met in Japan.
We wandered into a traditional sake brewery, and we were just kind of blown away by the smells and the equipment and the process there.
What are the main ingredients?
It's got steamed rice, it's got Brooklyn water, yeast, and it's got koji, which is a type of fungus that we grow in a portion of the rice. And that's where we get our sugar that then gets turned into alcohol.
Inside the giant tank is where the magic happens.
So this is our Junmai Ginjo, and it's about 2 weeks old, so it's got about another 2 weeks of fermentation.
And from that, remarkably, comes this.
I'm surprised.
All right, in a good way.
It smells like wine.
As a reporter, it would have been irresponsible to try just one.
That's really good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Wow. Just out of curiosity, what's the alcohol content?
So this clocks in about 15%, so it's like a strong wine.
It's mighty good. I've had 2 sips. I feel like I'm a little tipsy.
Oh, nice.
Be assured, I wasn't driving that day.
Are Americans ready to have locally brewed sake?
Yeah, I think the answer is yes. I mean, you should see this tap room pre-pandemic and starting to be again now. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
And crazy to me that there could be so much Japan in one borough. Kampai.
Oh,
yeah. Love
it. Was pretty
it.
good.
We got to go get some.
You know, by the way, the bonsai garden in at the Brooklyn Botanic Garden open again as of like this weekend. Gorgeous.
Did you bring us some sake or no?
Well, you know, there was so much sake consumed last
You
week.
forgot.
Well, no, I was told, I think maybe we need to tap the brakes.
Hi, Today All Day. We've got a great show for you on this Friday morning. Let's kick it off with the latest pop culture news we need to know. Take a look.
Let's get into pop star. Steve Martin and Martin Short, the comedy icons, are the latest celebrity guests to sit down with our Buddy Willie guys for Sunday Today. And in their conversation, the two open up on their decades of friendship and even how it all started.
Was it instant for you two guys?
We got along instantly.
Instantly, all three of us did.
The Three Amigos!
And the legend has it your first conversation, or maybe one of the first, when you came to the house to get the script, was a dig at Steve.
Yes, I went to Steve's. And I looked around, and there was a Picasso, and there was a Hopper. And I said, how did you get this rich? Because I've seen your work.
Their new show, Only Murders in the Building, is streaming now on Hulu. Great. Make sure and check in Sunday Today, of course, this weekend for more of that great conversation with Willie. All right, guys, finally, our tailgating food bracket. After a week of intense campaigning for and against certain game day classics, the time has come to crown a winner. And it all came down to loaded nachos versus cheeseburgers in the finals. Thousands of you voted. And the winner is loaded nachos. Of course. That's right. A heaping plate of chips and toppings absolutely crushed the All-American Classic Cheeseburger. A whopping 67% of voters showed up to support their favorite plate, nachos. And guys, nachos, by the way, now are the first two-time Today Show bracket champions. You may recall they won our Super Bowl snack it bracket.
That's right.
Cementing nachos as your ultimate game day dish.
Do you put jalapenos on your nachos?
Yes, I do.
What about you?
Jalapeno business?
Jalapeno business.
I can go simple. I can go loaded.
See, I like the simple.
We need to also get
jalapenos.
queso in there. Like, I mean, a hot
And making
queso.
them, you got to layer. You got to stack the chips, the cheese, layer.
Exactly.
It's not even 9 a.m. I'm
But
hungry.
I would say don't do beans. Is that controversial?
Don't do what?
Like
Beans?
black beans in your nachos.
Oh,
Or
I don't know.
beans okay?
Those are fighting words.
I was just about to say.
Well, I'm just saying. But
In all of its beautiful iterations, nachos win.
Up next on Today Talks, we check in with the third hour as America remembers. Stay with us.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
Welcome back. Today on the third hour, the gang dishes and all the latest news, plus a day of remembrance as we approach the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Take a look.
America remembers the nearly 3,000 lives lost 20 years ago on September 11th. 40 of those victims were on board Flight 93, which went down right behind me here in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. The nonprofit organization Friends of Flight 93 National Memorial is honoring them with a new Heroes Award. It is going to be given to individuals who display selfless courage. Board member Emily Schenkel is with me to announce the winner exclusively this morning. But first, her memories of the loved one that she lost 20 years ago.
Lorraine Bay was my father's cousin and my godmother. She was a flight attendant on Flight 93 on 9/11. She had been a flight attendant for 37 years, and she just truly had a passion for it, and she loved life. Even when she was traveling for work, she would always take time to send cards for birthdays, anniversaries, get well, thinking of you. She was just a very warm, very caring person. She was somewhat of a mentor to me, and she just handled everything with such grace and compassion that really I tried very hard to emulate that. In some ways, it seems like it's been a long time, and in other ways, it seems like it was just yesterday. I got a phone call from another relative that I couldn't quite understand at first. Then I realized that Lorraine was on Flight 93. My heart tells me that she was very busy comforting people, doing whatever she could do to support the passengers on that plane and support the crew. We did name my daughter, who is now 11, Lorraine. So she's really never very far from my thoughts, far from our thoughts as a family.
Oh, Emily, thank you for being with us this morning. First of all, condolences. I know it's going to be a hard weekend for you. The organization that you're a part of, for folks who aren't familiar with it, tell us all about it and how it came to be and what you guys hope to accomplish.
Okay, so the Friends of Flight 93 is the nonprofit partner of the National Memorial here, and really our goal is to just make sure that the events of that day, specifically with Flight 93, are not forgotten and that they're remembered and you know, for the generations to come.
And you've come up with this Heroes Award.
Yes.
To help do that.
Yes.
What's the thinking there?
So the thinking is the 20th anniversary gave us kind of a unique opportunity to bring this back to light and talk about it. And, you know, we wanted to have people remember what the heroes of Flight 93 did that day and their selfless acts and their courage, and recognize that those kind of acts of courage and bravery happen all the time, even in today's time. So we put out for nominations for those kinds of actions for people who found themselves in situations that required really just an immediate action that put themselves at great risk for the benefit of others.
Well, we are honored this morning to help you honor the first recipient of that award, and for that, let's bring in his family. This is Detroit Fire Sergeant Savad Johnson's family, and this morning we have his brothers with us. We've got Jamal, we've also got Ebony, his sister, his daughter Hayden is with us, and his father William Johnson as well. Congratulations doesn't feel like it's appropriate, but Ebony, you nominated your brother. Tell us why, and tell us what led to the nomination.
Oh, I did because in the spirit of how those heroes on that flight just looked at this moment that they could do something to save many lives. Savad did the same thing with his actions, and
we should tell folks what Savad did. For folks who aren't familiar with this story, your brother, and I'll give the shortened version here, but there was a young lady there were a group of teenagers who were drowning, and your brother was standing there, saw them in trouble, jumped in the water, and tried to save them. And in the course of that, lost his life. But the girls survived. When you heard about what happened that day, what'd you think?
Well, I was, of course, devastated at first. Just could not believe it happened. But at the same time, I know my brother, and I know that if he had to do it all over again, he would do the same.
49 years old, 26-year firefighter, father of two. Come to find out, he was inspired to sign up for the firefighters because Dad was a firefighter himself.
That's true.
When you heard what your son had done that day in August of 2020, were you at all surprised?
I wasn't surprised that he would do that. It was a shock that he did, because we were supposed to celebrate his 50th birthday, which was September 5th. And of course, we didn't.
And he would have turned 51 last weekend.
Yes.
So, a fitting tribute for your family. And please keep doing the work you guys are doing as well. We won't forget what happened here that day.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Safe travels. And for more on Friends of Flight 93 National Memorial, you can head to our website, thirdhourtoday.com. And guys, for now, we'll send it back to you.
Greg, thanks so much. It was really important to hear. Thanks.
And nice to hear this other story come to light as well.
Coming up on Hoda and Jenna, a day of reflection as America remembers the bravery displayed on September 11th. After this.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Today on Hoda and Jenna, we reflect on the bravery displayed on September 11th, 2001, and how the world changed since then. Take a look.
The weekend is here, and we're just happy that you're spending some time with us.
Yeah, and we just want to give a special hello to our friends down in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah.
They are all part of our extended family. Did you know that?
Wait, our researcher Chanel's sister and grandparents?
Yes. Hi, y'all. Thank you for watching.
On Sunday. Oh, we love Chanel so much. Anyway, we love that. Please keep your videos coming and send them to hodaandjenna.com. So it is still hard to believe when someone says this out loud, that 9/11 happened 20 years ago. Think about yourself 20 years before, and that was really when the world changed for all of us. But 20 years ago, the towers were hit. Where were you, Jenna?
I was in college.
You were in college.
I was in college, and my dad was president, so I had Secret Service, and up until then, we had kind of made a deal with our parents that the Secret Service would stay back because he had only been president, so we could live and be in college, and we wouldn't, see him very often. And that day, I looked out my apartment window, and school had just started in Texas, and I looked out my window that morning. I was getting ready for school, and there were a lot of Secret Service sitting in the courtyard of our apartment building, and plastic chairs that I think they just had found or somewhere, and I knew something had happened.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! So what did you do? Did you stay there? Or did
no.
You
so I went somewhere to a location where I could be away, and I couldn't talk to my family. They couldn't get in touch with them. And my sister, who was going to Yale, was with a lot of the Secret Service. The Secret Service field office was in one of the towers. So she was with these men and women whose families were trying to get them, and they were mourning together because they were worried about colleagues, and in New Haven it was so close to New York City. But I just think it was one of those days, and they happen in history where everybody remembers.
Exactly.
Where were you?
You know, it's so weird. I was actually working here, and I was going to the dentist. I remember because I was in the car and the radio was on, and they said something had happened. I was going down Broadway, which is that long stretch you can see all the way down. And there was smoke, so I went back to work, and I went into work, and they were scrambling to figure out what was going on, and you were assigned to go to the roof, go here, go there. But for some reason, I have one enduring image, and it was one of the makeup artists who I didn't know very well was searching for a loved one, and she kept trying to hit redial, and she was freaking out. And I still remember, and I was sitting there waiting to get ready to go on air, and I saw her pick up the phone, and she turned her back, and I saw her shoulders heaving, and I looked over and I thought, oh my God, she lost him. You know, that's what I thought. And she turned around and she goes, that was him. And I remember, there was something about that small image in that moment. And I thought, how many people on that day were going to get a call one way or the other? It was either going to be the worst possible day or the biggest relief probably you've ever felt. And I remembered thinking, you know, I don't remember the story, but it was, you know, somebody went out and got a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Somebody was late because they had an appointment.
Or what about all of those people, and like you and I have both had the privilege to interview them, who weren't even scheduled to work, but took the call to serve
and went in.
I
get chills. I mean, I was just listening to something where the firemen who were running up the tower while people were clearing out, and he asked someone, well, where was the fire? And the guy said, oh, well, it was on the 90th floor. That's where my office is. And the fireman said, we got a lot of climbing to do. Like knowing they were going to walk up 90 flights to get to where the fire was. And I also remember I'd never seen in the weeks after 9/11 New York as calm, weirdly, and as warm,
as
ever.
Unified.
I've
and
never
you know what,
seen
not
it
just,
before.
I got to speak with a lot of with some kids who lost parents, and what they say is that the beauty of it was September 12th. If you talk with a lot of members of that community of people that lost parents or loved ones, they say what they remember is the feeling of community, of their small towns coming together, of anybody that could give anything gave.
Yes, without
and that
question.
That unity was such a beautiful reminder of the best of us, you know.
I know, it's so funny on that tragic day. That's what you think of, and 20 years later, when you watch, like you've interviewed some incredible young people who lost parents, and just to watch them today, 20 years later, grown-ups. Incredible. Yeah.
And you and Savannah will actually be anchoring a special edition of Today tomorrow morning.
You're going to be. We'll be at Ground Zero. You're going to be on the Intrepid, where people are actually doing incredible work, service.
You know, everybody should know this, and I am embarrassed to say that I didn't know the extent, but 9/11 is one of the only 2 nationally recognized days of service. It is a day where you can do whatever good you can do, and an incredible man named Jay Winnick started it in honor of his brother Glenn, who was a lawyer who was working at 195 Broadway downtown. He had evacuated his building, and afterwards he took the evacuation bag. He was also a volunteer fireman, and ran down to the World Trade Center. And lost his life that day. But what they want is for everybody to come together to serve.
I think that's kind of great to make that also a day of service. NBC News, by the way, will have a special report, live coverage. We're going to commemorate all the events at Ground Zero, including the moments of silence, and just talking to some officials from that time, Andy Card, Condi Rice. We'll speak with both of them, and also just people who are survivors of that time.
America remembers, and reflections on the bravery displayed on September 11th, 2001, and how life has changed since that day. For 2 strangers, a single photograph taken that morning has left an indelible mark on both of their lives.
It would take nearly 15 years for a woman in that photo and the photographer who took the picture to meet. Take a look at their incredible story.
The morning of September 11th, I woke up, I wasn't feeling well. I contemplated if I should go into the office or not. I said, you know what, let me go in.
I'd probably been working about 6 months straight. I'd moved here from Los Angeles, and it was one of those things where it was my first day off.
Joanne Capestro and Phil Penman's lives would forever change on the morning of September 11th, 2001.
And I went up to the 87th floor to my office, and just getting ready for the day. And I was standing by my desk, and boom, the plane hit.
Phone rings, I'm like, there's no way I'm working again today. And it just went to voicemail. Phil, look, I realize it's your day off, but you might want to check out the World Trade Center. Apparently a plane has flown into it.
And the second tower got hit, our building shook. At that point, I really felt like someone jumped inside me and said, "Jojo, you gotta go."
After walking down 87 floors of the North Tower, Joanne, who was 39 at the time, made it out of the building.
I wasn't even outside 30 seconds, and building Tower 2 started to fall down on me.
Phil was a 24-year-old professional photographer when he ventured downtown to capture the scene unfolding around him.
I'm looking up at the tower and I'm taking these pictures, and then all of a sudden you hear this rumble and the building's coming down as I'm shooting. These firemen kind of run past me and they just like run.
My girlfriend yelled, "Joey, Joey," and I turned around and I saw her and I was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do now?
All of a sudden you just start seeing like the emergence of people kind of walking towards you.
That's when Phil Pedman took my picture.
A single photo was taken of Joanne and her coworker that would become an iconic symbol of 9/11.
I really felt so different from that moment on, and it took me many years to heal.
We're being hired, we've got to go and photograph funerals. I'm meeting people that have lost their loved ones every day, so you're reliving it every single day with every person you meet.
Post-traumatic stress disorder is not easy. Living with survivor's guilt was not easy. But I have to say, when I turned the corner, I owe a lot of it to Phil Pedman.
In 2015, Phil showed his collection to the National September 11th Memorial and Museum. That's when the museum's curator recognized Joanne in his photo and facilitated a meeting.
Not many people went through what we went through and survived. And it's a bond. It's a bond that can't be broken.
That's the only good thing that came out of it, I think, for me. It was like I developed this bond, friends.
And their friendship began to blossom from that first moment.
We see each other quite a lot. We speak on the phone quite a lot.
After many years, I decided I'm going to get married. So I said, I know who's going to film my wedding. So Phil actually filmed me on the worst day of my life and on the best day of my life. I think about what I would, if Phil wasn't in my life. I don't think I would have, healed as well as I'm trying to heal every day.
In the years since 9/11, Joanne has made it her mission to give back. She's helped raise thousands of dollars for hurricane relief efforts and is a team leader for the American Cancer Society's annual breast cancer walk in Central Park.
It took me years to find my purpose. My purpose is really helping people. My purpose is loving life. In all of these years, to raise money for the cause really makes you feel good about yourself.
As for Phil, the photos he took on that day have also helped him find closure.
For me, looking over the images over the last 20 years as well, it's kind of helped me deal with it more, start reevaluating everything in life, what's important to you.
And each September 11th, Joanne and Phil are reminded of that fateful day.
I was very lucky.
That connected them forever through a single photograph.
What I went through that day, people don't understand. And I love the fact that I could call somebody up that went through what I went through, and he understands, and he's always there for me. Phil is someone I'll be friends with for the rest of my life. I tell him all the time, I love you, Phil. You gave me my life back. Just in a picture alone. Nobody could understand that because they weren't there, but when they see that photo, they go, wow, now I know what she went through. The picture tells 1,000 words.
Power of a still image. You don't think about it when you're a photographer. The work can carry a lot of weight. It means something to somebody.
20 years ago, I wouldn't think I would be as happy as I am right now, but I'm really happy.
Wow. There's so much more of Joanne's story. It's actually featured in the documentary Memory Box, Echoes of 9/11. The film is a co-production between NBC News Studios and Yard 44. By the way, you can watch it tomorrow and Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern on MSNBC, or just stream it exclusively on Peacock. The film will also be presented at the Toronto International Film Festival, and that'll happen tomorrow.
How powerful was that? Today Talks continues after the break.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh, yes. With Xfinity X5.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are the Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
This morning, we are wrapping up our fun series On the Job, and I had the chance to meet a veterinarian who takes a whole different approach to healing our pets. And I brought along my little buddy Bosco for a visit. Go.
Our pets give us that unconditional love we only wish could last forever.
You want to go outside?
One expert took that not-so-far-fetched idea
Okay, Magic.
and sniffed out a way to add years to a pet's life.
Hi!
And I wanted my 11-year-old Schnauzer Bosco to try it out.
Hi, very nice to meet you.
Hi, sweetheart.
Meet holistic veterinarian Dr. Gerald Bukoff, who sees patients from both near and far at his office in Little Falls, New Jersey.
There's very few of us. We're an endangered species. One drop is enough to just change her world.
Dr. B begins Bosco's exam by giving her a little something to take the edge off.
It's a homeopathic remedy, and it has 5 different Bach flowers in it to help her relax.
Okay.
While this may look like a typical checkup,
The normal temperature is 100 to 102.5. She's exactly in the middle.
what comes next lets you know you've discovered a very different breed of pet care.
Yeah, we're not used to this snapping sound, but you're being very well behaved.
Bosco enjoying her very first chiropractic adjustment.
What is this doing?
It's like a spring-loaded mallet, and it pushes on the vertebrae and also on the pelvis, and it actually turns on or opens ganglia, nerve switches. I am essentially optimizing the flow of information in Bosco.
Through her body.
I find chiropractic great for not only treatment, but also for prevention.
Dr. B began practicing holistic veterinary medicine in 1996, and after comparing the medical records from his entire career, he found his holistic patients have lived 40% longer than those from his days as a conventional vet.
What is holistic veterinary medicine?
Holistic medicine, by definition, means conventional plus alternative. So we're not just talking about me doing treatments and diagnoses that are off the wall or different, but the therapy is where things diverge.
Is it just for dogs?
Dogs, cats, rabbits, hamsters. No, we see everything.
Along with some well-adjusted pets, in Dr. B's office, you may also see animals undergoing acupuncture, cold laser therapy, and biophotonic or ozone blood treatments.
It teaches the other blood cells in his body to help heal him.
He's been with me through thick and thin.
When a conventional vet diagnosed her 10-year-old Maltese Mochi with stage 4 lymphoma in July, Jackie Maroney chose holistic treatments over chemotherapy.
He has been the most active I had ever seen him after 4 weeks of treatment. And it's not just hokey stuff. It actually is effective.
What are just some basic tips for people with pets at home that you think everyone should be doing?
Brush the coat every day with a slicker brush. Brush the teeth every day. Thump their thymus, 10 taps once a day. When they come in from outside, wipe their paws. Congratulations, Dylan. Doing a good job.
Dr. B teaching the humans a few new tricks as they look to extend the lives of their best friends.
Wow. Bosco loved all the attention.
Yeah.
She loved her chiropractic adjustment.
Great to see you, man.
Good to see you. Thanks for being in the town. This has made a lot of music in this studio.
I was going to say, you've recorded in here.
Yeah, we, you know, it's funny with studios in Nashville and stuff. You do a couple albums in one, and then you're like, well, let me go try this one out. So you kind of pop around to different studios, and so yeah, I've spent a lot of time here in Ocean Way and got a lot of. I mean, there's been some really amazing stuff that I've gotten to do in here, and so it's good to be back here.
Yeah,
down in the heart of Music Row.
This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
You've been as we sit here, you're getting ready to head out on tour.
Yeah.
How much have you missed those live audiences? Because this docu-series that we're going to talk about, it became very clear to me that about the age of 8 or 9, you needed a crowd.
Everything I do in music, I mean, the reason why I moved to Nashville was to set in motion me getting on stage in front of people. I mean, when I left Georgia, that was all I knew was, playing in front of, no matter the venue, the crowd, the birthday party or whatever, it was all about me making people have fun and enjoy themselves. And I mean, when you remove that element out of my life, I mean, it took some reprogramming of the brain. But I tell you, I mean, looking back, it was a lot of amazing little things with my family, and consecutive nights, same bed, going to bed at normal hours, and it was pretty amazing. And what worries me is now my boys have gotten a little accustomed to Dad being around, and now which thankfully it's summer, and they'll come out on the road. Them kind of relearning Dad not being home as much, but what's funny about my boys, I mean, they're in cell phone mode, and I swear, like the transition of blowing Mom up daily has come over to me. I mean, they are like, 9 in the morning, they call, they make their daily request of the festivities of the day. Is it going wake surfing, golfing, fishing? Are we gonna go build a rope swing, tree house? And they lay their daily agendas out over coffee.
So you really are running a camp. It sounds like, so you may need to get out on the road.
Yeah, but there's always boys around the house, and it's a big, my home was like that. I mean, when I grew up, and I even reference it in the docuseries, I mean, our home was a hub. It was right in the heart of Leesburg. We had the pool. We had all the farmers, end of a summer day, my dad, they, all huddled up around a truck bed, drinking beer at the end of the day, talking about, is it too dry? Is it hot? When we getting rain? Did we get too much rain? So it was a little melting pot for us.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
It was funny, we were talking about American Idol before we started here, and that is you're going out to LA, you're doing all that, and you've become now over these seasons an institution on the show with Katie and Lionel, but I didn't realize how you really wrestled with the decision about whether or not to do that show because you are so busy.
Well, I think and we were talking off camera a little bit, when you're selling out this and you're playing big stadiums and all that, and then you go over to start being a judge on American Idol, I was wondering, are the fans thinking I'm kind of sailing off into another avenue, and you don't want to make one decision in your career that will make fans assume that you're not still focused on the touring, because at the nucleus and the epicenter of what I always want to be is a country music singer. Now, being a judge on American Idol has been amazing for me to learn. I mean, I've learned so many things about this aspect of TV, and it may morph into me being able to do more stuff like that with creating fun television shows down the road. You never know what's going to come up, but at the core of me, I want to be that country music singer. And so getting back out on the road and seeing live, people's faces and watching them have fun really kind of warms my heart. But then getting to sit next to, Lionel and Katie, and the beauty of our show is we really enjoy each other's company. We enjoy working together for the common goal of finding a legitimate superstar. And even when you watch Ryan Seacrest prepare for his job when the cameras aren't rolling, it inspires you to be a better whatever you're doing in any form. So when you're around real pros doing pro stuff, it's always inspiring. Kind of like,
You learning as we sit here?
I'm learning. I'm just
taking
soaking
notes.
in all of this stuff you're putting out.
The greatness that's coming across. You did have a little bit of an example, though, what you were saying, talking to Blake about The Voice, which is he took that job. He probably had some concerns, too.
Yeah.
But it's totally changed his life and elevated him and brought in new fans. So I have to imagine there are people who love Katy Perry or Lionel Richie who watch and go, oh, I like that guy. He's kind of funny and he's goofy. I'm going to go listen to his music, and they fall in love with you.
I think that all that goes on. I mean, with Blake, Blake was one of my phone calls when I was kind of juggling whether I was going to do Idol or not. And he was like, you really need to do it. And he goes, I'm just telling you, there's things that will open up in your life that you can't understand until you get into it. And he was completely right. Even with being around Lionel and Katie, they operate in a whole different level. I mean, Lionel gets on a plane, flies to Switzerland, and plays some prince's birthday party and plays Hello and two of his love songs. I'm just sitting there listening to Lionel's stories, and when you talk about Katie, just a global pop phenomenon, I can really learn some stuff. And they learn from me, too.
Sure.
I mean, Lionel's like, where were you hunting last week, boy? And I'm like, and he thinks I probably wasn't. And I'm like, well, yeah, here's what I did last week. And he's like, you climbed what mountain and did what? And Katie and Orlando, they keep threatening to come and spend a little time in Nashville. I'm like, when y'all get here, I can put you in the city, I can put you in the country, you can have cell service, and you can have no cell service. You need to just let me know what you want to do. So, yeah, it's we're having fun. I'm ready to get Lionel in a fishing boat.
I think you need to get him down on the river down there. We're about the same age, so we grew up on Lionel Richie all night long, dancing on the ceiling, all that. It's such a part of our life.
If you couldn't get a girl to dance with you to a Lionel Richie song,
that's on you.
Yeah, you got. Yeah, it's on you. It's essentially your fault.
So is that a crazy thing, though, to be sitting and to be a colleague and be on that same level with a guy you looked up to?
Yeah, when you look at Lionel's body of work he has, there are countless bodies of work around the Lionel Richie thing. And when you look at what he's achieved throughout his career, and you look at everything he's achieved, and yet he is the sweetest, most humble, engaging. He's literally, I could call him right now and go, Lionel, man, I need some help with this. When you have Lionel, you have him. And he's spent a lifetime doing that. He has spent a lifetime loving on people like he can, and it's really inspiring too to be around somebody that truly never has a bad day and always lights up the room. I've been around him for 4 years now, and it's the same. You can hear him coming down the hall. You can hear him saying hey to everybody in the hallway that works. Hey, man, how you doing? What's up, brother? Hey, good to see you. And here comes Lionel. And that's, you know, he spent a lifetime of spreading that joy. He posted a picture, and I responded. I'm like, dude, he was in Greece. And I'm like, you look 30. He literally looked 30. He's like, got Jordans on, and, you know, and I'm like, how are you?
You thought it was a throwback
and
photo.
He just had a birthday, and you know, to see just how he goes about life is awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool that you get to work with one of your heroes that way and be
and
buddies with him.
And to grow up learning his songs, following his writing technique, and now we're buddies. I mean, are you kidding me? Really? And
well, that gets to the way you grew up and this docu-series,
Right.
which I just watched the first 2 episodes. And I'll tell you one thing, I wasn't ready to be so moved so quickly through it. It's really well done. There's incredible footage from your earliest shows when you were a little kid. A lot of it shot by your brother. Why did you want to tell this 5-part series about where you come from?
It's been an evolving thing. You know, when we started this thing, we certainly didn't know that it was going to be called a docu-series, and we didn't know, was it going to be a movie? Was it going to be a 3-hour hit play? And so the bottom line is my videographer, Michael Monaco, who is, I mean, when we hired him, he came and he lived on our bus, and he documented me. He documented everything, my shows, my laughs, my ups and my downs. One of his goals and one of his dreams was to be a part of something like this. And I kept telling him, I was like, come on now, let's don't do all this. And finally, as he kept working, he kind of whittled me down to where I was like, and then he started showing stuff he was putting together. And it started to become where, with all of the ups and downs and the highs and the lows and the laughs and the tears, we started realizing that this is something that people can watch, and hopefully we want it to be an uplifting, healing situation, and it's been well documented. And even, I tell you, going back and really digging up, I mean, Monaco and my manager and my mom and my dad and my wife and in-laws and old friends that my brother had. I mean, we had people digging in trunks of closets, pulling out old VHS tapes of when I played at the train depot in Albany, Georgia, and to go back and know that my brother was filming a lot of that, and then to know that, to see all that unfold in front of your eyes, I couldn't imagine my life not having this documented like that, because it's brought up so many wonderful memories and so just so many wonderful things.
Was there any hesitation about talking through it all again? I mean, you've had so much success in your life, but you've also had so much tragedy in your life. Was that a difficult thing for you to sit and say, all right, let's sit and do it, but I'm gonna have to tell you everything, including the tough parts?
Yeah, I mean, when you start talking about the loss of siblings and even the loss of my brother-in-law, who, I don't care what nobody says, we were brothers. I mean, he was my brother. He had been in my life since I was 7, 8 years old. And the hesitancy is, gosh, you almost feel anxiety of telling aspects of your life that are so tragic. You worry about people at home just really wondering why this much tragedy and unfortunate things have happened in my life. But then I have to remember there are people out there that have gone through similar stuff that I have. I've been out on the road, or I've talked to somebody that said, you know, I lost my family, all my family, in a car wreck, and you want to know how they got through. And so me telling my story of how we get through this as a family, you pray and you feel like you're going to help some people. And at the end of the day, that's really what we're trying to do. I think we're trying to just tell the story of my, I mean, you know, we say it, my dirt road diary. I mean, my life was small town and riding dirt roads with my dad and my brother and my sister. And, you know, some people can, you know, I mean, I see the criticisms of my music like everybody else. I'm sure you've seen, you know, reviews of a show you did. But once people see this, there ain't no doubt of whether I came from a country scenario, and I'm proud of that. I think if people see where I come from and realize that you can come from something, apply it to your life, and then grow to other stuff, that'll hopefully inspire people too. I mean, I think it's a roadmap of the American dream, seeing where I came from to present day, and you're not gonna go through all of that without ups and downs, tragedies, and bumps in the road.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh, yes.
With Xfinity X5.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us?
Yes. There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are. Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
And there's the other big revelation for me, Luke. Theater kid. Luke Bryan, theater kid.
You look at the things that naturally fall in place, and I was predominantly an athlete. Thought I was.
We all did.
I mean, you're tall. I'm sure somebody tried.
Oh yeah, we tried.
Tried to make you hit, throw, or shoot something. I was a good little athlete, but you know, when it got to my junior and senior year of high school, I had started playing guitar, and I'm looking around at my peers who are star athletes hitting home runs, and I'm like, you know, it's been a minute since I hit one out of the infield. I'm like, I seem to be getting more reactions with the guitar.
Yeah.
And I really did stumble into the theater aspect. My drama teacher was Robbie Davis, who was in the docuseries, and his wife Dottie Davis, who was in the docuseries. And meeting Robbie really, I mean, when I walk into the classroom, he would make us do singing exercises. And when he heard my voice, he was like, "You're trying out tomorrow for my one-act play." And I'm like, "Man, I don't think that's my thing." And he goes, "I don't care if it's your thing or not. I'll see you after school." And he was a really, really influential teacher.
There's footage in the docuseries. So we have proof that you were good. You were good. I think it was Annie Get Your Gun.
Annie,
You're up
Get
there
Your Gun.
belting it out.
Man.
But that's probably where you picked up a little stage presence, I imagine.
You know, when you're a kid and you got to run out there in front of, and at the time, I mean, our theater program had really started turning heads. And when we announced a new musical or something, it sold out 4 or 5 nights in a row, and it was a pressure moment. I mean, it was like, it was literally the first moments of my life that I really felt pressures that I would have to conquer the same way I got to go conquer the first time I hosted the ACM Awards, or the first time I walk out on a stadium or sang the anthem at the Super Bowl. And those were the same emotions I had when I was an 18-year-old kid walking out to perform Annie Get Your Gun, when the kind of, it was really magical stuff that was laying the groundwork.
Your dad in the docuseries, there's a moment where he says, he's as country can be, kind of a gruff guy, and he says to somebody after watching you with the guitar, and you've got your little karaoke machine, and he said, I think we've got another Elvis on our hands there. So clearly, he believed in you throughout this whole process. Your family believed you could do this, even with all those bumps along the way. Were there any moments, Luke, where you said, man, I don't know, maybe there is some other way I could go? Or was it always going to be music, one way or the other? Maybe you wouldn't be selling out stadiums, but you'd be playing at bars or playing music somewhere.
There are so many people instrumental and critical in shoving me out of that nest of Leesburg, Georgia. I mean, I think when you grow up in a town like that, and there's so many kids like that, it's safe. You know, if you show up, do this job, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
You know, my mother and my father and my siblings and their extended group, I mean, everybody was behind me. And I tell you, even after, when I moved to Nashville, I mean, we're sitting in the studio, and 100 yards away is my first publishing deal. It's the first publishing company that I wrote for. And me and my fellow writers in there, their family didn't support them. They moved to town to prove their family wrong. And it broke my heart when you hear stories like that, because that was not my dynamic. I had support, I had love. I still meet kids to this day. Well, my dad, you know, they think I'm crazy to move to Nashville. They think I'm they think I'm just out goofing off.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to hug them and go, well, man, you're not, you know, or girl, you're not, or, you know, it makes you want to rally behind them. But, you know, I even said in the docuseries, I mean, if I needed a new guitar, you know, Santa Claus brought it, you know.
Yeah.
As we were growing as a little band, if I needed a set of speakers, and, you know, my dad would come up to me and he'd give me he'd be, you know, writing the check. You better go be something one day. Go get them, you know. So we'd go get the speakers, and that was always going on. When I got to Nashville, it was never anything but go make your town, your family, and your friends proud, and go have some fun doing it. We all knew if it didn't work out, I could have went back and worked at the peanut company or sold fertilizer, or even worked with my brother.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine. Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
So when we talk about coming to Nashville, for people who don't know, literally the night before you're about to come here and chase your dream, you lose Chris.
Right.
And you put that dream on hold for longer than I remember. I mean, you were back in Leesburg for 4 or 5 years, I think.
When Chris passed away, it was, you know, it was just devastating. And it was devastating because no one was more fired up about me going to Nashville than him. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing would have kept him off that tour bus to come work for me when stuff started happening. And when that, you know, in '96, fall of '96, when he passed away, I had just turned 20 years old, and I had decided, we had an apartment, me and Michael Carter, my guitar player, who is still my guitar player, and he's in the docuseries. We had an apartment. We had plans. We had and he passes away, and he actually moved. Michael moved up here, and a couple months later, he's just like, look, it's just I can't do it without kind of. It was about me and you, and actually we went back to college. He went to Georgia Southern. I went to Georgia Southern. And that's where I met Caroline. And that's where I formed, you know, got an even bigger following going. Losing Chris really put my Nashville dreams on hold for 5 years. But looking back, I wonder, would I have been this naive 20-year-old kid from the South, moves to Nashville, overwhelmed, first time away from home, would I have given up? Would I have been dejected? Would stuff not have gone like I wanted to? And so when I came here when I was 25, I had had a lot more living. I was a little more savvy. And I even had, I mean, I was even much more focused. I mean, there's no telling what trouble I would have gotten in when I was 20. So it really set my life and my path on a different trajectory. And
yeah, and you were back with your dad at the peanut mill. And
I learned that peanut season might not be, music may be a little more fun than peanut season.
Do you have moments, Luke, where you walk out onto a stage and there are 40, 50,000 people in some football stadium? Do you ever go, you think about Leesburg?
Every time.
You think about being in a tent in Statesboro playing for 10 people? Do you think about that?
Every time. I mean, I think what I've tried to do in my career is really relish, enjoy, appreciate every moment. And I think you've got to really live in the moment while it's happening. And you've got to understand, too, that things will change, and potentially that moment may not always be like that. And do I want to be the old bitter guy that's mad because it wasn't like it was? No, I want to be the happy guy every day because I achieved it. I figured it out, and I had the time of my life doing it. And I had the time of my life doing it with a bunch of wonderful people around me, and that's the cool thing, you know. Yeah. I mean, I don't step on a stage. I mean, some of my songs, I mean, when I go, you got your hands up, and you look out there and everybody's got their hands up, and nobody at that moment is worrying about anything. They're not worried about their taxes. They're not worried about their job. They're in the moment with me, and that's just spiritual, and it always is, every time.
It's like your adorable school principal says right at the beginning, he's never forgotten Leesburg.
Well,
it's with him all the way.
I know, and I'm getting back, I go back there more than ever these days, so I'm loving getting back too. Got this tan right here on the Flint River.
Is that Flint River tan?
Flint River tan.
You get a little Tulane in the boat with you?
I like that plug.
Well, Well, I could talk to you for hours about it. The series is amazing. Good to see you, brother.
Thank you.
Butchery is seen as this really large-scale brute force thing, and it takes a lot of physical strength, but a lot of it is also really intricate and small, kind of meditative moments. Sausage making being one of those things.
The color is still really nice.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. I'm Cara Nicoletti. I'm a fourth-generation butcher and co-founder of Seymour Meats and Veggies. I want butchers in the future to not be scared of people eating less meat. I just think that we need to get a little bit more creative about our job. Everyone, the food is ready. The mission really is to make it easier and more fun for people to eat well. It turns out that adding vegetables, making that meat stretch farther, democratizes good meat, if you will, makes it more available to more people.
They're just so good.
My family's history in butchery started with my great-grandfather. He was a cattle merchant in Russia. That was where my great-grandpa started working in the meat industry. And then he opened a shop in the north end of Boston in the 1940s with some of his family. When my grandpa was 13, him and his brother, Bobby, started working in the shop and eventually took it over. Is that you?
That's me.
Yeah.
That's Bob. I'm Seymour Salette, and I'm a retired butcher. Both of us went to work helping my dad in the meat market. My brother and I were partners until the day he passed away a couple of years ago. This was the store.
Wow.
65 Salem Street. I had 3 daughters. I never thought that my girls would be interested, and they weren't. My daughters used to bring the children into my office for me to take care of them while they went out and did things. And Cara always wanted to go into the smelly room.
I was, out of my sisters and my cousins, probably the most curious about what they were doing in the shop. Growing up, I always wanted to sort of like peek behind the curtain and see. I graduated in 2008. The economy collapsed. I was working at a restaurant as a baker, and one of the owners, who also had a grandfather who was a butcher, was like, if you ever want to do some like light butchery work, breaking down chickens and pork shoulders and stuff, let me know. So I started doing that, and it sort of like sparked an interest in me. So I started apprenticing for free. I did that for about a year and then left to go butcher full time. I remember calling my papa, Seymour, when I got my first apprenticeship. I could tell that he was hoping like it was something that didn't stick.
Well, I said, this is the funniest story, the funniest joke. You're joking with me and everything else. And she said no.
I really have my entire working life worked with my hands, and I enjoy that much more.
I trusted her and believed in her. As a matter of fact, I gave her some of my tools.
This is Papa's, Seymour's honing steel that he gave me. As soon as I started butchering full-time, I gravitated toward sausage making immediately, and I realized pretty early on that I had like hit on an idea. As much as I believe in regenerative agriculture and all of that, there's just no way to sustainably eat meat every single night of the week. So I started sneaking a lot of vegetables into my sausages. I had set out to make 40 pounds of sausages, and after I'd mixed it all together, I weighed out the mix, and it was like 70-something pounds. I had essentially doubled my meat by adding vegetables to it. When I was working at Foster's and just like couldn't physically keep up with the demand was when I realized that it definitely was a scalable idea. It's been the last 2 years of working nonstop trying to get this to market. I went to close to 100 co-packers asking them if they would help me, and every single one of them said no, because what we're doing is more complicated. We finally found one co-packer outside of Kansas City, Missouri, the Phantasmas, and flew out to go see them, and they were like, sure, we'll try it.
Hey!
Hi!
How's it going?
Good, how are you? Oh, Mario! Hi! I really owe everything to them because they saw something in me, and they saw something in my idea that they thought was worth taking a risk on. I was making Lou and Mario like peel beets and dice them in the thing that makes bologna.
I believe it was the challenge. We never done sausage with vegetables and meat combined at the amounts that she was looking for.
We immediately saw the drive that she had, the passion she had about the sausages she made.
We've always wanted to work with a sausage queen.
Oh my gosh! Vivi, do you want to help me prep some vegetables? We went back and forth about the name for a long time. We had a few different iterations that just didn't stick, and I always wanted it to be Seymour.
These are cooking up fantastic. Look at those. They're just cooking up.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. I love her, and I said to her, no, don't call it Seymour Meats and Vegetables. I wanted her to call it something like Cara's Kitchen, because it really, it's her. And of course I am humbled by what she did, and I'm very emotional about that.
We are all obsessed with Seymour. We love him and use him as a model of positivity and gratitude.
That's delicious.
So this is about honoring my whole family.
The truth of the matter is, Cara revolutionized the sausage business.
Make no mistake, this was not an easy process, and I almost quit many, many, many times.
Cara went to Whole Foods and they bought her product immediately. I mean, I can lie awake at night thinking how remarkable it is that she was able to achieve that, and I'm very proud of her.
Butchering is a really, really difficult job with very little financial payoff. But I would not do anything differently. Women make really good butchers and really good cooks, really good chefs. I think the more of us that are in this industry, the better.
I understand what it takes to accomplish what she's accomplished. And let me tell you, it is no easy feat. And it didn't happen overnight for Cara. And it's just the beginning as far as I'm concerned.
I love you so much.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
There's a new magazine looking to shake up the culinary world. For years, you may have seen some of the same faces on TV and in magazines, but you're about to meet a woman who is looking to add some new perspectives to the food picture. Take a look.
It's the first of its kind, For the Culture, a new magazine celebrating Black women in food and wine, and written, photographed, and illustrated all by Black women. It's the brainchild of Clancy Miller, a pastry chef turned food writer.
I worked in Paris at a bakery and a restaurant, and I loved it, but I also realized that I wanted to work outside of the restaurant. So from working in kitchens to writing about food.
When it comes to food and wine and beautiful cookbooks, there's certainly no shortage. So what made you decide that it's time for something a little bit different?
I've never seen a lot of focus on Black people in general, but specifically Black women. And I truly believe that Black women are the architects of kitchens and cuisines in this country throughout history and in many countries throughout the world. So I wanted to create a publication that would center our experiences, our expertise, and our voices in relationship to food and wine.
Inspired by a famous writer, she went to work.
There's a quote that Toni Morrison has said, which is, if there is a book that you want to read, write it.
Ooh.
And so this is a magazine, but I felt like this is something I want to read.
And that was just the beginning. Clancy launched a crowdfunding campaign a little over a year ago and sought submissions. That was enough to begin putting pen to paper. 35 women contributed to the first issue. Gracing the cover, culinary historian, cookbook author, and college professor Jessica B. Harris.
I want people to feel inspired to learn something more about a person they didn't know about before. If you have never made a Somalian meal, I hope you'll try one of the recipes. So I want people to feel like their curiosity is being sated.
In celebration of the magazine's release, we toasted 3 women profiled in the issue. Angela Davis, also known as The Kitchenista, is a home cook and an 8-year food blogger of The Kitchenista Diaries. Mashama Bailey is an award-winning executive chef and partner of The Gray Restaurant and The Gray Market in Savannah, Georgia. And Krista Scruggs is a Vermont farmer, winemaker, and business owner of Zaffa Wines, who provided a little tasting of it for us.
Krista, what do you think about this magazine?
Because finally having space and holding space when everyone else has but us, or that we've got to fight harder to have our voices heard.
Mashama, bring us behind the scenes. To be a woman of color in the food and wine space.
I do think that it's lonely. You know, I don't think that there are many of us. And it's really been an eye-opening journey to meet people.
Angela, what would you want people to know?
My daughter's 6, and to flip through this magazine, and it was just picture after picture of Black and brown women in food, and it's all about us.
I'm looking at our boxes. We're all in different places right now. One thing is for sure, food and wine and culture, it connects us, doesn't it?
Yeah. We're here celebrating our stories, celebrating each other.
Congratulations, and here's to many more. The For the Culture is a biannual magazine right now. It can be purchased online, but Clancy is working on getting it into bookstores too. We were just talking about it, to try maybe some new spices or new recipes from around the world.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
The Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
The Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Time now for She Made It. The booze business is typically dominated by men.
But leave it to Jill Martin to find the group of game-changing women from San Francisco who are really mixing things up.
Yeah, good one. And this was a really tough assignment, but I decided to take it for all of us. At 21 Seeds, girls call the shots. But this is definitely not your college tequila. Thank goodness.
For the makers of 21 Seeds Tequila, irony actually comes in a bottle.
3 counts. 1, 2, 3.
It's interesting how this company came about because you were actually told to stop drinking.
Yep. I started having night sweats. So I went to my doctor and he said, listen, stop drinking fermented spirits. So move away from wines and beer and move to distilled spirits.
Kat Hontus followed doctor's orders.
You got to try it with the tahini.
And she started drinking Blanco tequila that comes from the agave plant, a cleaner spirit without the additives and organic matter found in beer and wine.
Almost immediately, the night sweats stopped.
After several years of homemade research and development, Kat, along with her sister Nicole Emanuel and friend Sarika Singh, knew they had something.
I was sort of making bootleg tequila, bootleg infused tequila. And I was serving it to all my friends at parties.
It's really smooth.
One of Kat's secret powers actually is her palate. She can taste every single note in something.
This is the easiest cocktail that there is.
You said to me, this isn't your college tequila.
21 Seeds is actually an infused tequila. We infuse with real fruit, and that imparts just a hint of flavor. It makes it super smooth.
Friends started asking Kat for her homemade orange, grapefruit, and cucumber tequila, and 21 Seeds was launched last year. So it really was one of the aha moments, your husband saying to you, I'm tired of you making tequila in our kitchen and bringing it to people's homes?
Yes.
The journey of the 21 Seeds brand from Kat's kitchen to the store shelf was a boozy one. How many iterations did it take?
I would say it took almost probably like 20 or 30, if not more, over a course of like 9 months.
In order to truly get a taste for a tequila, Kat had to have an empty stomach.
I was like, oh God, I gotta taste tequila in the morning at 7 in the morning.
True tequila has to come from Jalisco, Mexico. And Kat, Nicole, and Sarika found one of the only distilleries there run by women to make their brand.
So the goal was really, how do we do what she's doing at scale and not compromise on the taste, on the quality, on anything?
The trio raised $2 million and then went for broke. Their first pitch was to a large West Coast beverage retailer called Bevmo. So you called them up and you said, hey, with 3 women, we have this tequila, can we come in?
Yeah, we emailed them and said exactly that.
All were in Mexico working on their infused tequila when they heard the news.
And Kat's like, look at this, what does this say? What does this say? I don't know how to read a PO, give me, what are you saying? And it was all 3 SKUs, all 146 stores, and basically our first run.
What's next for 21 Seeds?
World domination.
Cheers!
And cheers here.
Cheers, indeed. This is
Okay,
very
so let me.
smooth.
Really good.
It's very smooth. So I'm not a tequila drinker, but actually try it. This is the hibiscus grapefruit, the cucumber jalapeno, and the Valencia orange. But it's smooth, right?
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh, yes.
With Xfinity X5.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Yeah, more than 110,000 restaurants across this country have permanently closed in the last year. That's according to the National Restaurant Association. And thousands continue to be at risk of closing.
Chanel is joining us now with more hopeful and happy story. Yeah.
You know what? It will be uplifting, I hope.
Okay.
Good morning to you. When a restaurant has deep roots in a city, staying in business is often essential to a thriving neighborhood. In many ways, these establishments are the fabric and backbone of the community. Keeping the doors open is a sign of hope. And I met 2 restaurant owners fighting for their futures. Daddy D's barbecue joint is an institution, one of Atlanta's most well-known and popular spots for ribs.
Daddy D's has been here for 30 years. I've had people come in and say, I had my first date here, or my parents brought me here after my high school graduation, or I've been eating here since I was 2 years old.
Chris Jackson saved the restaurant.
Hey, Tony, how long on the ribs?
Buying the barbecue joint from the original owner just 3 years ago. More than a business decision, this was deeply personal. It was the first place Jackson tried barbecue in the city when she moved here almost 30 years ago.
When I bought Daddy D's, I had gone through breast cancer, and I had gotten laid off from my job on the day that I had my mastectomy. Didn't know what I was going to do. And I found out it was for sale, and, family helped make it possible.
Cancer-free and a single mom of 3, she pours her heart and soul into the place, doing things the old-fashioned way, 100% homemade with an authentic pit out back.
If I were to walk into Daddy D's, how would you describe the vibe or the mood of the place?
It was a shabby shack. So when you walk in, that's the first vibe you get. And I've been trying to fix it up to make it shacky chic.
Those plans were put on hold when the pandemic hit.
Business trickled to a crawl. And then all of a sudden I just saw the meat prices were going haywire. Paper goods shot through the roof. I had to make masks for my employees because we couldn't find them.
Was there ever a time when you thought it may not work to keep this open?
There were several nights that I went home and cried. Several nights. When you put everything you have into something and you don't have another avenue and you're a single mom, you have to worry about how are you going to feed your kids?
She's not alone. Many restaurant owners across the country are struggling to pay the bills, and they offer much more than a menu to the neighborhood. They are community builders, like the Four-Way in Memphis, a local establishment serving soul food for 75 years. Why do you think it has been able to stand the test of time?
Our backbone happens to be the loyal local community here, and it's because of them that we are who we are and why we still exist.
Patrice Bates Thompson and her family have run the restaurant since her father purchased it from the original owners more than 20 years ago.
He actually grew up in this immediate neighborhood. He watched them knock down buildings that he was used to seeing as a child. So it was just important that he continued to have a part of the rich history in this neighborhood.
That rich history extends back to the civil rights era when activists gathered at the four-way, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Reverend Jesse Jackson. Today, the iconic restaurant is fighting to keep its history alive.
It's just important for me to continue the legacy and keep the history going and see the community thrive again.
I don't think it's ever good to watch iconic, historic restaurants or any other business to close. The mom and pops have always been the backbone of this country.
That's true. All over the country, both restaurant owners are with us now. Chris Jackson from Daddy D's Barbecue in Atlanta, along with her beautiful children. And from Memphis, at the four-way, Patrice Bates Thompson and her husband and daughter. Good morning to all of you.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. Chris, let me see you and your beautiful kiddos. Chris, first of all, we want the ribs. We want you to send us ribs to Studio 1A. They look delicious.
Come on and get them. We got them.
All right.
Or that, field trip.
Now, we know that you guys are not open for indoor dining, just outdoor dining. So how is business going?
We're making it. You know, we're just trying to keep the doors open as much as possible, hoping that we'll soon be able to go back to indoor. I don't feel like it's safe enough, but, you know, it's one day at a time.
And Patrice, the four-way over there in Memphis, you guys have been around for over 70 years. What's your biggest challenge today?
The same. We're trying to stay safe, and the biggest challenge is staff. Getting good staff to work for us.
Well, listen, we know how important your restaurants are to your local and your loyal customers and your communities, and how crucial it is to keep your doors open. So we have something to share with both of you this morning. You guys can hear me, right? Loud and clear? Our sponsor, American Express,
yes,
all right, well, is working with the National Trust for Historic Preservation to give each of you a $40,000 grant as part of their Backing Small program to help keep your businesses open. I'm having chills while I'm saying this because I know how badly you guys need this. And they want you to take that $40,000 and serve your community. I'm like, my heart is like,
now you got us all in tears.
Wow, thank
Chris,
you.
I hope you know.
I'm such an ugly crier.
No, you're beautiful. Chris, it's $40,000 and it's a grant, not a loan.
Yes.
You don't have to pay it back. It's for you.
That is so... Thank you, Jesus. That is so amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That's amazing.
Love you guys. Can I tell you guys, when I was interviewing you guys,
Nancy, if you're watching,
yay! I was interviewing them, and I knew it was coming, and they were both just, so passionate and just wanting to stay in their communities and so loyal, and so I'm just so thankful that American Express was able to do this for you guys.
We like to do something called Foodie Friday. Last week they made us eat these really disgusting jelly beans. But
who's they? They made you eat?
They is Joanne. But today we wanted to spotlight a couple of women-owned small businesses that were recommended by our food team here at NBC. So first up, this is Bryn's Jams and Marmalade.
And they ship everywhere, we should say, correct?
And by the way, these aren't just any normal jams. They have unique flavors like cherry chai.
Cherry chai.
Or lemon saffron.
These are scones.
No, these are biscuits.
Oh. Okay.
But whatever. I mean, all the same. Tomato, tomato. Okay, and they're $5 a jar at Bryn's Jam. Y'all can get them anywhere. Should we try one?
Yeah, and so you can, if you like these, you can ship them to friends.
Yeah. You didn't try the jam.
No, I didn't.
You don't like a jam?
I was trying to do keto, but it just went out the window. So.
I know, but you're trying to do keto. This is a biscuit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know, right? And what are these?
These aren't on keto either, but these are King Street Baking Company, and they make these adorable.
I said trying to do keto. That just went out the window.
Sorry, Maria, I didn't realize.
So what are these?
These are little sheet cakes This is peanut butter chai. Everything is chai. Chai must be in.
Right.
And this is based in Brooklyn, but y'all, they ship nationwide too through Gold Belly.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
What's Gold Belly?
That's where you can order all this stuff.
Oh, y'all know it?
I'm here for the weekend, and I'm going to go to Brooklyn.
You are?
I just decided that. Yeah.
You're so hip.
I'm so hip. I figure if I go over there, I'll kind of get hip just by like walking around. Yes, I'll just be. If you see some person wandering around Brooklyn by themselves, trying to get hip, it's me. Do not come over. Just walk and go. Oh,
I have a leather coat you can borrow, or you should just borrow some of Joanne's clothes.
Yeah, her clothes are hip.
Right? She's
I
hip.
know. She's really.
I just feel like I'm dancing for so many people that weren't given the opportunities that I have, and so I understand my responsibility.
I'm so excited because I am sitting next to one of the premier dancers in the country, around the world, Misty Copeland. I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to see you too.
I think when people see you, they think, wow, I bet you this kid was born and had everything kind of, not handed to her, but, you know, had everything top drawer. Let's talk about your quote, because I think this means a lot. You have two favorites. This is one of them. Where you come from doesn't necessarily determine where you're going in life.
Yeah, I mean, I think people would assume that someone comes from a privileged background, being a part of, you know, such an elite art form. But that's what's so amazing, I think, having the opportunity to be a part of something where you just don't see people like myself being represented in that space. So it's really exciting when I can go to these communities that are similar to where I was raised and how I grew up, and just to give them an example of what's possible, that you don't have to fit into this mold in order to be whatever it is you want to be. And I've definitely come from that experience, you know, growing up in a single parent home, one of 6 children. I was living in a motel when I started dancing, and so it's about what the arts can do for you and how it can enrich a child's life, no matter if they want to go on to be a professional or not. It's just so important, I think.
There's a Mr. Rogers quote, and I'm just thinking about it because he's been in the news a lot lately, and he says, for all of us, there's someone who loved us into being. So who loved you into being?
I have so many amazing fairy godmothers and brown women that have just been incredible mentors to me. Raven Wilkinson, who passed away last year, was a black ballerina, the first and only to dance in an all-white company at the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo in the 50s. Prince was such a big part of my growth and just discovering who I am as a woman and as an artist, but having representation, whether it be a woman or, you know, a man. I think that just having people that you can see yourself through and knowing that you don't have to follow someone else's journey or path, and that it's more incredible to be an individual.
Confidence is something, I don't know if you're born with it or if you get it, I'm not sure, but for you, how did you have the moxie?
I feel like everything that happened in my life up until I was 13 years old really prepared me to be a part of the ballet world in some weird way.
How?
I think that it's such a difficult world to be a part of. I mean, to get to where I am, you just have to have so much perseverance and will and drive and really love it, because the work it never ends. And so I feel like coming from, just always struggling and fighting, it was if I can get through that, I'm the ballet world, I'm good, I can handle this. So I'm so grateful for everything that I've experienced and that's made me into the person that I am.
How many times do little girls come up to you and say, wow, I want to be you? That's got to be so gratifying.
I mean, I think because I understand the bigger picture, and that it's not me, it's what I represent. Even older black women that come to me and they're just you're living what I wish I could have done or had the opportunity to do. And it's I just feel I'm dancing for so many people that weren't given the opportunities that I have, and so I understand my responsibility and how I'm seen and viewed. So it's so amazing whenever I meet a little girl, or like I actually had one of my mentees that I've been mentoring for almost like 10 years now, and she's like a woman. She like came over last night, and it's just like crazy to watch them grow up.
I mean, I know it's a privilege to do what you do, and I know it's a privilege to have people look up to you, but is it ever a lot on your shoulders to carry people's dreams?
No, I don't see it that way. I feel like it's been such a long journey, and I think for a lot of people that don't know the ballet world and kind of just saw me like come into the spotlight or whatever when I was promoted to principal dancer, and it's like this has been a long journey of working to get here, and I don't feel that it's like been like, okay, now you're here and you're going to be a role model. It's like been very organic. I think if anything, whenever I felt pressure, it's come from probably like outside, like media, where a lot of no dancer is put in a position where people are writing and talking about whether or not you're going to be promoted, and they're coming and critiquing like your first time approaching a massive role. Like that doesn't happen. Usually, like as a new principal dancer, you'll kind of be under the radar until you get more experience. But it was like my first Swan Lake was like everyone's there. Like, is she going to fail? Is it this? Does she deserve to be promoted? I think that was terrifying. The first time that I ever felt that type of like weight. But in terms of just, you know, it is what it is, and just being on the stage is doing so much for the next generation.
Your other quote, which I love too, is don't let other people's words define you.
That's a huge one. And again, for like this generation, especially like young people and social media and just like, you know, cyberbullying, and it's people's words can be so powerful and impacting like your emotions and your confidence. And so I just often, I have to remind myself, but I often like am saying to these young kids that like these people that you don't know, like their words shouldn't impact you. You know, it's the people that care about you, that are supporting you. So it's just like to think simply about it when you get caught up in like what people might say about you.
Do you, I mean, I try not to pay attention when stuff happens, but I'm also a human being.
Right, exactly.
And sometimes I'll look and I'll get an ouch. Do you like have a suit of armor on? Like how do you stop it?
I don't look. Of course there are things that happen when like it just comes into your sphere and you can't avoid it. In Master Class, which is coming out, which I'm so excited about, I definitely share a lot of those stories that I think are just as important as like learning about the technique of classical ballet, but as any athlete would know, it's about your emotional state. It's about, you know, taking care and like just being strong and being confident, because we're human beings and we're not often looked, you know, you're on stage and so people just kind of were like, all right, you have to be perfect every time like I come to see you. But I definitely have had situations where people have, you know, you're not supposed to film things in the theater, where people have filmed me and like posted it on YouTube, and you know, just horrible things like Misty Copeland failing, and for me, I try and if I do see it and I think that it's an important topic to cover, I posted actually this horrible video of me on all of my social platforms and just started this topic of conversation about bullying and what you can learn from seeing those things, and that you don't always have to address it. But I think it's important too.
Let's talk about the Nutcracker. You're back. So excited. What made you decide?
Well, so the Nutcracker is like a part of every ballet dancer's world. Like that's, you know, I personally love it, and the version that American Ballet Theater does is not the traditional choreography. It's like a lot more like kind of whimsical and contemporary, but most dancers would be like, oh my god, Nutcracker, like you know, you do it every year, but it's the type of ballet that can bring people in from all types, different backgrounds, that, you know, it's just such a part of, especially in America, like the holiday tradition. And then having been in the Nutcracker in the Four Realms, the Disney movie that came out, it's just incredible to be a brown ballerina and be put in a position to represent ballet like in a Disney film. And I think that it's huge for, you know, just the future of ballet.
Are you happy?
I'm like, no, I'm miserable now. Yes.
Sometimes you never know.
Oh my god, I'm so
You are traveling all over the world. You're holding it together. You have a great life. You're a shining role model, and I'm just happy I got to sit with you for a few minutes. Thank you, Misty.
Thanks for having me.
Don't move.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, so Misty Copeland began dancing at the age of 13. Look at sweet girl, and would go on to become one of the world's top dancers. In 2015, Misty became the first African-American to be named a principal dancer with the prestigious American Ballet Theater.
She's also a best-selling author, and now she's out with a new children's book inspired by her early love of ballet. It is called Bunheads.
Misty, we're so happy to see you. You're inside a beautiful home that we hear a rumor is on the cover of Architecture Digest, and we want to get to that in a second because we can't wait to look inside your home. But let's talk about this book. I mean, you were inspired, some would say late in life, even though you were 13, to start dancing. So tell us about this book.
Yes, well, first of all, I'm so happy to be with two of my favorite people. You guys are just warm my heart and make me smile and laugh so much. But I was so impressed, first of all, by Emmy, and congratulations on her children's book that's coming out today as well. It's just so beautiful and encouraging to see young people inspired to take steps and push themselves and challenge themselves. And that's so much what Bunheads is about. It's loosely based on experiences that I had growing up as a young girl, and really just wanting to change the narrative of what's so often depicted in film and television and media, which is that it's really cutthroat and that all the girls are out to get each other. We're not living Black Swan. We have very beautiful experiences in the studio, and I wanted to be able to highlight that and show the importance of the relationships that you build in that time, that you find these commonalities through dance and love of this universal language that brings people together, but that you can be different. You can be any sex, you can be any race, any size, any age, and find that commonality through your love of dance. And so that's the journey that I take people on with my misfit group of bunheads in this story.
Misty, we love this book, and I got to talk to you a couple years ago, and you had this kind of serendipitous fall into ballet, or I guess rise into ballet, where you ended up at the YMCA. Can you remember that first day and what it felt like to be little Misty thinking like, oh my gosh, this is something that I could do for the rest of my life?
Yeah, that's something that I also really wanted to depict in this book was the reality of, the anxieties I had around doing something out of my comfort zone, which I know so many young people and adults experience and therefore don't push themselves. And I was just so fortunate that I had an incredible teacher who believed in me. And it was the first time that I saw
my worth and value and what was possible for me. So, that first introduction into ballet was on a basketball court at the Boys and Girls Club. And it was the farthest thing from what I saw my future possibilities being. But it is what shaped me to be the woman I am today, and to be able to see how important it is to give back what I've gotten from so many incredible mentors.
Misty, there are a bunch of little adorable bunheads who want to ask you some questions. We have a beautiful wall. There are kids who woke up early. They are ready for their moment with you. I want to start off with, where's Noelle? Where are you, Noelle? Will you ask your question?
Hi, Misty. My question is, what do you do when you're nervous before you perform?
Oh, thank you, Noelle. Music has always been that thing that keeps me grounded and focused. So whenever I feel any nerves or anxiety, first of all, I remind myself, why am I doing this? Because I love it, because I love to share my art with other people. But music is really something that I put on, and it doesn't have to be the music I'm about to dance to. Even if I'm doing Swan Lake, sometimes I'll put on some Mariah Carey or some Drake, and I'll just breathe and center myself and remind myself that this is entertainment and I'm there to make people happy.
Noelle, thank you so much.
We love you, Noelle.
Question. Next up, we have a 16-year-old Brianna from Toronto, Canada. What's your question?
Hi, Misty. Thank you for being so influential to the whole ballet industry, and you've had such an amazing impact on my ballet journey. You've been so inspiring to me, my whole ballet studying, and I was just wondering, how does it feel to be so influential to so many dancers all over the world?
Oh, thank you. I don't see myself in that light or that way. I think that I'm a vessel, and I stand on the shoulders of so many that have come before me that didn't get the opportunities that I have, that didn't have a voice or a platform that I have. And so I see myself as you. I see myself as all of us who are on the same journey towards, bringing people happiness, but also bringing more diversity to classical dance and showing all children that they can be anything they want to do. So I really just see myself as, what's possible.
Hey, Misty, will you stand by? We have 8-year-old Fern who has a question, but we're going to take a commercial break first. We're going to talk to her, and then we're going to take a look inside your awesome home. We can't wait. Your New York City home coming up after the break.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
A bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh, yes. With Xfinity X5.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
The Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back with Misty Copeland, who's written a beautiful new children's book. It is called Bunhead.
And we've been waiting for 8-year-old Fern from Portland, Oregon. She's got a question for you, Misty. Hey, Fern.
So you're
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. What's your question, Fern?
Hi, Misty. I was wondering what helped you when other people didn't believe in you? Because I did a biography on you, and I had some struggles in becoming a ballerina.
Oh, that's such a wonderful question. Thank you, Fern. You know, it was really having incredible people there to support me in my life. That's what's really been the driving force in every situation to getting me through, is having love and support from those around me.
Oh, thank you, Fern. You sweet thing.
Thank you.
Oh,
Misty, we've just loved you answering those questions. We also loved taking a peek into your house, your new house, which y'all just finished. You're on the cover
I'm sorry,
of Architecture Digest, looking beautiful. You just finished this house right before the pandemic.
Yeah. Yes, it's been an interesting journey, but at the same time, you know, it's, you know, this is not something I often do. You know, even on my social media, I really keep it to a platform that I use to share my craft and reach people, but it's not something I really use for personal. You know, I'm pretty private, I would say.
Yes.
But you know, it's been such an incredible journey, and the opportunities that I've gotten, I never imagined as, you know, a 7-year-old, a 13-year-old girl, that I would have the stability and security in my life that I have. You know, growing up, not often having a home, living in motels, living at friends' homes, and just constant fear of not being able to survive. So to be able to have worked so hard, you know, me and my husband as two Black people, to really call something our own that we own is such a proud moment. And I feel a beautiful example for so many young people of color.
Well, we applaud you. A beautiful example for everyone. Misty, thank you.
We love
what
you
a
so
treat
much,
you
Misty.
are. Oh.
So everybody go check out Misty's children's books. It's called Bunhead.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Is that ready? Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. Do you accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh, yes. With Xfinity X5.
What is the biggest misconception about the ballet world?
That it's cutthroat and that we don't support each other and don't get along. And that's not at all, how it is on the inside and behind the scenes. We're a family. We travel the world together. We spend more time with each other than our own families.
It's not Black Swan.
Not exactly.
Good. I couldn't even watch that movie. Misty Copeland, welcome to the 6-Minute Marathon.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start the clock. Here we go. What is your life motto?
Not to let other people's words define me.
How do you find balance in your life?
I use the structure and discipline and all that I've learned through ballet, I think, to really apply that to all that I do in my life. So I'd say ballet keeps me centered and grounded and balanced.
It literally keeps you balanced.
It does.
What is something you would like to learn?
I think I would like to learn other languages, for sure.
Do you know any other languages?
I don't. I have so many that I'm like French and Spanish, and then I just slowly drift from it and fall into other things. But I would love to learn those two languages, Italian too.
Wouldn't it be fun to go to one of those countries and just kind of soak into the culture for a while?
That's like a dream, to be able to just like move to Tuscany and for a year and just be with the Italian people and learn the language that way.
Me too. I've always wanted to do like an Eat, Pray, Love year. Let's
Absolutely.
go. When was the first time you realized people knew who you were?
Probably after my first Under Armour campaign, I Will What I Want. I think that was really when I kind of crossed over and even, got the attention and respect of men to see dancers as athletes as well as artists.
What's the best interaction on the street or, with a fan that you've ever had?
I think when I see like young girls that are just overwhelmed because of what I represent and they just get really emotional, and most of my fans want to like touch me and hug me, which I think is such a beautiful thing because I want them to see me as themselves and as human, and so I love that connection that I have with them.
What is your favorite book?
I would say The Power of Now. I think it's Eckhart Tolle. Yeah, I think it's something that I continue to go back to in different times and phases in my life and learn something new from it every time.
What is the biggest misconception about the ballet world?
That it's cutthroat and that we don't support each other and don't get along. And that's not at all how it is on the inside and behind the scenes. We're a family. We travel the world together. We spend more time with each other than our own families. And it really is a supportive environment.
It's not Black Swan.
Not exactly.
Good. I couldn't even watch that movie. Let's see. Concert or Broadway show?
Concert. I'm a huge music lover. That was what I grew up on, being played around the house, and that's what motivated me to dance. If there's ever a concert in New York that I'm excited about, I will drop everything to be there.
What's your favorite kind of live music?
I love like soul and R&B. But I do need more Mariah Carey live music in my life. I've only ever been to one concert, and she was my first concert at, I think, 16 years old.
All right, there's no transition to this one. What is a weird food you like that most people don't?
A weird food? I love beets. Like I love vegetables, and I love like the earthiness of a beet. I love them. Just take them whole and roast them with just salt, pepper, and olive oil, and just dig in.
It's funny. I came to beets later in life. Did you like them even when you were little?
I did. I mean, didn't grow up with a lot of options for healthy foods. And so when I was eating it, it was out of the can. So later in life, I realized like, oh, this is something that actually grows from the earth and I could make it myself.
That's how I felt about cranberries. When I found out that cranberries didn't naturally come with like the can imprint, where you just slice it. Same thing.
Yeah.
Who are you inspired by?
I'm inspired by the youth. I'm inspired by seeing how incredibly powerful and intelligent and the forward thinking and just ability to stand on their own and say what's right. I think it's so impressive, and I think the point of having young people that learn from us is to make them better than we are, and that's how we create a better world and continue to evolve.
Who have you been starstruck in meeting?
I would say President Obama. You know, I've been so fortunate to spend quite a bit of time with him and interview him. But I think every single time he just has such an incredibly powerful and engaging presence. And at the same time, he feels like, you know, like I'm like talking to my dad. So there's like this weird, like, you know, balance of just incredible love and support and power that he possesses.
Where would you like to visit that you haven't been? We know we're going to Tuscany to learn Italian.
You know, I've never been to Spain, and I would love to go to Spain. Yeah.
We'll go there after we go to Italy.
Perfect.
Misty Copeland, great job. You did an awesome job.
Thank you. And that was fun.
Thank you, sweetie. Have a good day.
You too.
I'm gonna go make some beats.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. They've been out here for a while. We have some, yes. There you go. Get that energy up. All right, we have some metal-worthy skincare products from around the globe.
Yeah, New Beauty's editor-at-large, Sarah Ingenberger, is here to feature the most popular international beauty buys. And all you have to do, y'all, shop with us. Just scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen.
Right there.
Join in. Good morning,
Good
Sarah.
morning.
Good morning. All right, so we have to start in the United States, right?
That's right.
I
Taking
feel like
the
this is
goal.
the UN of beauty, but let's start at the U.S.
Drunk Elephant. It is loved by so many. In fact, it is Sephora's top growing brand in history.
Oh, wow.
Over 230 beauty awards. It takes the gold by far. This is their set that you can actually try all their products. It's a great little kit if you want a drunk moment, kind of have a fun play on the name, or just as a travel, as we start to travel again, it's a great way
What
to
are they known for? Like, why are they so popular? What is
it's
it about
a biocompatible skincare line. So they have what they call these 6 ingredients that they don't prefer because it causes these skin irritations.
Okay. So it's clean beauty in some ways,
It's
right?
clean beauty, but it's also what works best for your skin and for formulations.
All right.
So it's the key of formulations that is why this is so successful.
We've got the Canadian flags here. What's the top seller there? Even though you can get it here, but it's a top seller
Yes,
there.
this has taken over Google searches. It is the top searched product line because it has such a cult following. The products are amazing and the price point is so affordable. The Ordinary. Check this out. A hyaluronic serum for $6.80.
$6?
You cannot beat this,
stuff.
right? It's an amazing price point. It is so good for the skin. If you're oily, it's great as a standalone moisturizer. If you have dry skin, use it underneath your moisturizer.
Is it like a
and layer
serum?
moisturizer on. It is a serum.
Okay.
And so
Just
coming
lay
up
it on.
next, home country of the Olympics, Japan.
Yes.
This is an eye cream?
Yes, hosting the Olympics is Japan. Shiseido is an amazing product. It is the largest revenue skincare brand that is available. It has taken over the market. It has a great history to it. It started as a family business in Japan and has just exploded worldwide. This is their eye cream. So if you're counting the crow's feet, which some of us have.
Yes. Sarah?
I think Sarah was looking at me.
Anyone who is. This is a great eye cream to use both in the AM and the PM. It's going to just hydrate, smooth, keep your eyes hydrated for over 48 hours. It's
Really quickly, how are the price points for all of these?
Very affordable.
Okay.
And so this is going to be a little bit on the higher end, but you get so much from it, and a little bit goes a long way. You'll have this for months if you use it religiously.
Yeah, our crowd, somebody just gave a thumbs up.
I saw that thumbs up.
That thumbs up.
Gentlemen
Where's
can use eye cream, too.
Yes. It's a good crowd.
I got you.
Speaking of gentlemen using eye cream, Jacob told us this morning this is his favorite product.
My wife, my kids,
From
we
France.
love this sunscreen.
You cannot go wrong. So La Roche-Posay has such an interesting history. It's actually a town in the French countryside. You should go there. It's beautiful. It's known for its spring water. They took this healing ingredient, put it in all their products. So they're allergy tested, great for all sensitive skins. But this is their sunscreen. It's made with minimal ingredients. And so even if you have a sensitive skin, it's great to use. So La Roche-Posay, beautiful countryside to go visit. Great products for allergy tested
And where
skin.
can you get this? Anywhere,
I see this all over the place in the
everywhere.
U.S.
Yeah, it's also a very popular product.
All right, what about this next one?
Okay.
This thing.
It's a tool from Sweden. That's all I know.
It is. It's taking the innovation of Sweden. A device is sold every 10 seconds. It's amazing how incredible it is. This is like a sit-up for your face.
A sit-up?
Yes. It's microcurrent. Just rub it across your skin. It's going to help you tight. You'll have to turn it on.
Oh,
I don't think
battery
it'll charge.
Yeah.
So you'll just feel it's like a little vibration is what you'll feel with it.
And what's
you
it
just
do?
move it across your skin. It'll tighten. It'll help with the elastin, with the collagen production.
Try it, y'all. Try it on your
It's a personal trainer. Yeah.
So you put the serum underneath it and then turn this on.
Yes, exactly.
And you get a sit-ups for your cheeks.
And you get your sit-ups. Personal trainer.
Well,
Little
high
pocket
cheeks.
personal trainer.
All right.
And what's next? Hair,
We're heading to
obviously.
Italy.
It
We're heading
tends
to Italy.
Get damage from the sun.
Right. And, you know, if you do color your hair, this is great for colored hair. It's an amazing product to really help to add the vibrancy to your hair. The entire collection of products is amazing. High-quality ingredients, but it also has that scientific rigor behind it. So it's both like the science and the natural pulled together for an effective product. Italy
Nice
takes the
package, too.
gold.
Yeah,
Love the
beautiful.
packaging.
All right,
this
should
is
we
a great
land in
affordable
Greece?
price.
Let's go on a trip around the world.
Let's go to Greece.
The home of the Olympics.
Yes, they have over 6,000 unique ingredients to Greece, 1,600 only found in Greece. They work with Greek organic farmers to harvest ingredients at their peak potency to make the best products. And so this is their Greek yogurt.
Wait, real yogurt?
Real yogurt.
For your, wait,
real
yogurt for your
Greek
face.
yogurt, but for your face. So just like you would think how a Greek yogurt might feel on your face, very cooling, very refreshing, but in a moisturizer.
Can we just try that at home with our yogurt?
Oh, well, it's a little bit different. There's other key ingredients that are in here that make it beneficial. Yes, so you might find that this is a little bit more better formulated for your skin, but a great product to use.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much. That was a really fast trip. Okay, and if you'd like more of these brands and products, check out today.com/shop.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh, yes. With Xfinity X5.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Just like K-pop, K-beauty, aka Korean beauty, has been popular for quite some time here in the States. But move over, Kay. It's the J's time in the spotlight.
That's right. Japanese beauty is having a moment. And our friend Candace Kumash chose some products popular with Japanese women for radiant, glowing skin. We all want radiant, glowing skin, right?
Sure
do. So Candace is a travel and culture writer and the author of Kintsugi Wellness. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, we're so happy to see you.
Yes.
Shenna and
Chanel. And by the way, the best part of all of this is that if you see something you like, just scan the QR code on your screen to find it, to purchase it, to get it as a gift,
all that good stuff.
whatever you want. Okay, so tell us what's new in Japanese beauty right now.
Good idea on the gifts, too.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I would introduce you guys to Dam Dam, which is from Tokyo, which is the hot place right now. There's a silky cleansing oil, which is made out of rice bran.
Wow.
The Japanese like using elements like rice and also mushrooms or charcoal, things that you wouldn't think of to use.
And isn't it true that your grandmother is and was your beauty inspiration?
Totally. Her skin was so beautiful. We have a thing in Japan called Supin Bijin, and it means clean, natural beauty. So the better your skin.
Gorgeous.
I don't think she has any makeup on this. And I know she didn't see, you know, Botox or anything like that.
But her skin is just naturally beautiful. What did you learn about how, you know, Japanese women take care of their skin? Is there a secret you can share?
Yes, absolutely. They double cleanse. They like using a gentle exfoliator.
We probably need to triple cleanse.
I know, right? But then how do you keep it from drying?
Well, I would show you guys a couple of moisturizing agents along the way too.
Well, show us your cleansers first, okay?
If you love a cleanser, this one really does purify. It's made with a little bit of cognac root. It is super clean, and so you feel clean after you use it. And then this silky rice cleansing oil, again, is made out of that rice bran. And so Japanese women used to use leftover rice water to wash and cleanse their face. So this is kind of like doing what grandma did.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right.
Makanai is known for its clean beauty. It was started at a gold mill in Japan. That's the charcoal soap.
Oh, I love it.
This is the charcoal sponge. So Chanel, if you put it in.
Put this in?
Yes.
Okay.
You can see.
Oh, it turns into a sponge.
It'll turn into a sponge in 5 minutes, and you use it as a natural exfoliator. It's biodegradable. It's compostable.
And do you use it with this soap?
This soap is detoxifying with the charcoal properties. It's aged and cured, just like you almost would with, like, say, miso.
Yes.
So it feels so clean on your skin.
I love that.
Let's move on to serums.
I know, it's my new obsession.
The serum.
It is. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so after cleansing, you want to stay moisturized like you asked. So this is the secret for that. These are two of my favorite serums. This is the Shiseido Ultimune. Okay. It helps to protect the skin. It helps to hydrate the skin.
Yeah, look at that.
It's their number one
This
serum.
is good.
Right?
Are you a serum snob?
Oh, yeah.
It keeps you hydrated.
Is this what
all
you use?
day.
Because your skin is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
I used all of these just for you ladies.
Oh my
the
gosh.
last 2 weeks to make sure. This is the Makanai Skin Jewel Serum.
Whoa, it's made with
gold flakes. Shake it up.
That I can do.
Beautiful gold.
Look, there's gold on my hand.
So all natural plant, seed, and nut oils. And then the gold flakes add that luminous glow.
Oh my gosh.
So put it on at night or in the morning, and put it on your hands too.
Wow,
Jen
that
and
is
Chanel,
crazy.
it keeps the hands looking fabulous as well.
That is beautiful. Okay, let's move on to sunscreen.
Japanese women are protecting all the time. This is the sunscreen stick. It's lightweight.
Oh my gosh.
It goes under makeup or over makeup, so you can put it on now.
Awesome. I have one of those. You know I like this because it doesn't show up. You don't get like especially in darker skin. You don't get the streaks.
I love that. It's for all skin tones.
Yeah.
It is Hawaii like safe, so it's reef safe. And I do like it mainly because it can go anywhere
your
with
bag.
you.
Beach
Yes.
bag.
Yeah, I love this. Okay,
You
now
know it.
masks.
Now we're going to the masks. This one is a favorite. This is the Makanai Perfector Sheet. It's real gold.
Wow, real gold. How expensive is real gold? Is this expensive?
It's made with 24 karat gold. It is expensive, but I think they priced it well so that you can buy this as a gift for a girlfriend or like, you know, for your treat for the weekend.
Yes.
Absolutely love this product. Then we have a rice face mask. It's supposed to shrink pores and keep you really, really moisturized. These are the under eye patches.
Oh, I want that.
These are by Kosei.
But I can't put it on right now.
So you would basically take these little under eye patches and place them right underneath your eyes.
Do you do that in the morning or at night or both?
I do it mainly at night, just to relax, read a book, check out,
Candace,
do it all.
Your skin is glowing. Thank you so much for all of these ideas. These are really great. For more on these products, head to today.com/shop.
This morning, we are featuring items that online shoppers absolutely love. The fashion and beauty picks that get the very best reviews.
Crazy rating.
And apparently the highest ratings, too.
We've been waiting for this list. Yahoo contributing editor Chassie Post is here to share the goods. And by the way, if you do see something you like, take your smartphone, open up the camera. You know what to do. Scan that QR code right underneath Craig, and it's right there at the bottom of your screen.
That's right. That's how you get instant access to all these great deals. Let's jump right in. Chassie, let's talk about this midi wrap dress that is all the rage.
It is, Carson. I mean, shoppers are loving this little dress, and I totally get why. It is so on trend. It's like the #1 trend of the summer, this little boho romantic dress. And it's also kind of like a high-end designer dupe. We've seen dresses that look like this for hundreds of dollars running around town, and it's around $40. Plus, people love that it is pure comfort. I mean, it's got an elastic waistband and super soft fabric and an A-line silhouette that looks great on everyone. And look, you can wear it absolutely anywhere. It's a grab-and-go dress, and we love it.
Chassie, speaking of comfy, I think a lot of us spent a lot of the pandemic in like loungewear, and nobody wanted regular pants, but you might have a good transition piece.
I do. Okay, this is the paper bag pant, and this is a #1 bestseller, over 12,000 reviews. And Hoda, what people love about it is it looks like a fancy tailored trouser, but it feels like you're wearing sweatpants. Again, this little paper bag waist, which is a big trend, is elastic, so you pull it on. The fabric is stretch. It's so comfy, and it comes in over 20 colors. And it's really flattering with that high waist. And I love that designers are helping us ease back into real clothes.
Yeah, price is right, too.
Yeah, and I love a nice high-waisted pant. Hey, Chassie, I've been looking for a bag to upgrade my look, and I understand you have an affordable option.
Oh, my goodness. So this little bag, it's called the Triple Zip Crossbody. And here's what people love about it. First of all, it's light as air. You put it on and it's small enough to forget that you're wearing it, but it's large enough to fit all of your essentials. And I love a crossbody because it's like your own little personal assistant. You run around hands-free, everything's right at the ready, and shoppers are loving these colors. They've got great summer brights, they've got classics. They've got one of my favorites, which is the new neutral, which is a metallic, and over 8,800 reviews. So it's around $20. This is a winner for sure.
Chassie, I know when people go out for kind of a fancy night out, sometimes we like to wear fake eyelashes, but they are a pain to put on, and that's why most people stay away. But you might have the answer.
We hear you, Hoda. Yes, it is a great look, but all that glue, oh my goodness. So this is a little miracle. It is a magnetic eyeliner and also eyelash kit. Magnetic. And this is how it works. Yes, it's magnetic. So you take the eyeliner and you apply it to your lash line, and it has magnetic properties in it. And then you take the little eyelash, you just place it on, and it connects because it's magnetic. So no glue. You can take it off, use it again and again because no glue. 22,000 reviews, and it comes in 5 different, along with 5 different lengths of lashes. So you can choose how dramatic you want to be on that next date night.
Is it easy to get rid of to clean off the eyeliner once you're done with it?
Yes, with soap and water. Wow. So, I mean, this is pretty interesting.
Chassie, I enjoy showering for one reason, and that is because I don't know if you have this, Craig, I have a 2-for-1. I have the shampoo, conditioner, all in one. Really? So I'm lickety-split in that. I actually have a 3-in-1, but that's a whole other situation. You have a very popular shampoo and conditioner that I'd like for you to tell us all about.
Yes, we do. So this is the Wow Apple Cider Vinegar Shampoo and Conditioner Set.
Apple cider vinegar.
So it's a 2 and 2. Yes. And people are really passionate about this shampoo dynamic duo. 59,000 reviews, guys. And here's what people love. It's made with real apple cider vinegar, so it's like a detox for your hair. So it busts up all that old product you may have in your hair, excess oil, and it really leaves your hair, super bright and shiny and a lot of volume. And the conditioner, it's avocado oil and coconut oil. I mean, it smells so good. I can't even tell you. Very nourishing. And I mean, popular doesn't even begin to describe people's feelings for this shampoo set.
What are you?
It's the gel, like the body gel.
Oh, it's all in one?
Shampoo, conditioner, and body.
Is it Pert?
I don't know who makes it.
3-in-1.
I'm not sponsored yet, but apple cider vinegar. That's
interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks,
If your hair has heartburn, you'll be in good shape too.
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us?
Yes. There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back with Today's Style. Are you ready to go back to a more normal routine, but not ready to give up your pandemic elastic pants? Well, good news when it comes to fashion, comfy is the new chic.
Absolutely. E-News style correspondent Xana Roberts-Rossi is here with the latest trends that will take us from summer to fall. So good to see you.
I see you. Good to see you.
IRL.
I know, IRL.
And we have a runway here. We're ready.
We've got runway and models and people.
But so comfort, like people are not going back to super high heels and stuff that's too tight?
Absolutely no way. After a year and a half of comfort dressing, designers know that we're not ready to go and buy restricting clothes.
Yeah.
But it is time to peel off the tie-dye hoodie, get rid of the sweatpants, retire the quarantine uniform, and get into some clothes that are going to motivate us to get back to some normalcy.
Well, let's look at our first look. We've got our model Shivani with this is a back-to-work look.
A back-to-work look. So we were thinking about back to work, and the answer to this is a non-traditional take on the suit, right? So it's easy wear, loose fitting, and I love the idea of this like oversized blazer. And these pants have got an elastic waist. This thing is as comfortable as any sweatpant.
And can we do sneakers?
There's nothing cooler than a suit with a sneaker, and I think if you can get away with it in your workplace, then absolutely do. And I love this color for fall. We're seeing this trend of pastels and bright colors moving into fall because I think people are just craving color and optimism.
Yeah, I love it. We'll take it. All right, let's bring in our next model, Phyllis. Now, you say this is the wear everywhere dress. Is that right?
That is cute.
Isn't it cute? You could wear this absolutely anywhere. The reason being, it's kind of a hybrid dress. It's the shirt dress. It's got this utilitarian feel to it that you can wear. The shirt feels like a button down, but then you've also got the dress vibe of it you can wear for any day. I love this tote bag with it as well. The tote is the new it bag of the season, everyone, because we're going to be having life outside the house again. We need bigger bags. We're going to be work, play, travel. It's all coming back.
You look so cute. You could also wear that with sneakers, too. That would also be super cute.
Sneakers or even a heel for evening.
All right, how about a day out and about? We've got Madison this morning as our model.
Madison is wearing, this is the t-shirt dress. Now, the t-shirt dress is underrated. This can be dolled up in any way. Nautical vibes here, throw in a blazer for the fall cooler months. This is a H&M a Zara blazer with the gold hardware, and I love the pop of the bag. And then this raffia shoe is great because you get the height, but also the comfort. And let's face it, our feet are not quite ready to get back in big heels.
I love it.
Dude, Madison looks like Reese Witherspoon.
She does.
Look at her. Have you heard this before?
Wait, have you heard that? She nodded.
She really does. Thank you, Madison.
What a compliment. Reese. I love that. Okay, so now we're ready for a night out, but I feel like you still want to be comfortable, even for me on a night out, right?
Absolutely, right. And no one deserves a night out quite like Petra, who just had a baby.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
3-month-old baby.
Stop it right now.
And look at it in this beautiful asymmetric jumpsuit. So it's a very fluid jersey, so it's super comfortable. It's actually got a built-in bodice as well, so you get the support and structure. I love the idea with the flutter sleeve and a little bit of a heel. If you are going to wear a heel, let's ease back into it with a block heel. And then the pop of a bag, I love the little bit, again, of wearable optimism with a nice orange bag.
It's really cute. I like the pop of color. Actually, we can't forget the guys, especially your guy. Let's bring Keneal.
Keneal!
He's modeling a great look for guys. He brought you flowers, honey.
Look at that.
She's ready for her date tonight.
Ready for her date night. And Ken Neal is wearing this super casual. So you've got this plaid pant, which is really easy. Again, elasticated waist.
Oh.
And then it just sharpens up with this blazer from Uniqlo and these sharp shoes. And these guys deserve a night out with a new baby like you would not believe.
They
I
do.
love it. Congratulations,
Can we have
guys.
all of our models come right out one more time? We'll just show these cute looks.
I love that comfort is key, Anna. We'll take it.
You've done it again.
Comfort is key.
Once again. All right. Well, by the way, you can see these styles and more by scanning our QR code at the bottom of your screen or by heading to today.com/shop.
The Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Some experts say that this bill still isn't enough. You accept that criticism? There's been a ton of confusion from the CDC. Can we try to clear some of this up? Is America safer today with the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan?
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Today is now a podcast available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine. The Meet the Press Chuck Todd Cast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back with our friend Chassie Post. You can catch her on the brand new show. It's called Shop All Day. It's over on our streaming channel today, all day.
Today's episode is all about hot accessories, and she has brought along a sneak peek for us. Don't forget, you can scan that QR code on your screen to see all of her products. Chassie, good morning.
Morning.
What's up, Chass?
Hi, good morning. Well, you guys know I love finding the latest in fashion at the most affordable prices. And today's episode, it's all about accessories, which can be such a great way to test drive trends or even breathe new life into last year's wardrobe.
Well, let's zoom in then. Let's start with hats.
Oh, my goodness. This hat, this is the felt-shaped hat. It's a collaboration between Madewell and Biltmore. And I've got to say, this style hat is probably the biggest trend of the entire season. And we're so excited about this collaboration. So Madewell is a brand you guys all know and love, but Biltmore, it's a Canadian haberdashery. It's over 100 years old, and it's run by, a guy named Eric Lines, who is the one of the #1 hat aficionados in the entire world. So he designed this hat, and it's a perfect example of the trend. It's cute. This beautiful camel color, a wide brim. It's flattering on most face shapes, a great shaped crown. I mean, I couldn't believe that we found a hat of this quality. It's $47.99 for under $50.
Can guys wear that,
Such a
Chassie?
great deal. Oh, yes, Al. This would look so great on you. Yeah, we do love your hats.
Chassie, another accessory having a moment that I can't really pull off right now is the belt.
Yes, belts are back, and I was thrilled, guys, to find these set of 2 classic belts. And what we love about them is they're faux leather and faux suede, but the star of this belt is the double O-ring buckle. It's got that high-end designer look without, the high-end designer prices. And so it comes in a set of 2 for under $20, and you can wear it with absolutely everything in your closet. And the new way we're seeing gals wear it is just sort of over their sweaters and over their cardigans and over a blazer or even over your favorite coat. So this is a great way to upgrade.
Chas, your show, it features some really cool interviews every week with influencers, and this week, no exception. You've got TV personality and blogger Ali Fedotowsky-Mano, right?
Yes, and I'm so excited about Adriana Brock and Allie's interview on the episode today. And you guys know Allie from The Bachelor? Yes, but guess what? Now she's a mom of 2. And she's also a mega influencer. She has almost 1 million followers. So Adriana and Allie, they talked about a lot of things, but they also talked about some of Allie's favorite accessories and this genius accessories hack. So first, let's talk about one of her favorite necklaces.
Okay.
And this is actually a dainty layered necklace set. So it comes in a set of 3.
That's my
They're meant to be worn together, right? It's such a big trend. But listen to this hack. And this is under $15 for the 3.
Oh, you're
but this
wearing
hat,
it. Yeah, Dylan is wearing the tops. These have my kids' faces on them. But
Yes.
They're always on fleek.
Dylan, you're so in on the trend. But Dylan, guess what you also need? This little hack that Allie talked about is genius. It is like a clasp. It is a magnetic locking
to keep them
clasp.
from...
Yes,
Oh,
it's
getting
like a
twisted. Mine are
necklace
twisted right now.
spacer. Yeah, so it keeps all of your necklaces
That is genius.
in
How
their
much is
own
that?
lane.
I can't read this.
It's $6.99.
What?
So they'll never get tangled. And we love that layered look, but I mean, they always get tangled.
Always get
and it's
tangled.
really easy, right, to put on the clasp on your own because it's bigger and it's magnetic. So very cool, right?
Hey, Chassie, I see that you got a tote there. Couldn't you have gotten a bigger one?
Well, Al, guess what?
What?
This tote is next level because it folds down into this tiny 5 by 5 inch.
Get out of here.
And yes! And it's by Bagoo. And what's so great about
I
it
love
is
Bagoo.
it's light as air, right? And
You
it's
don't know that. They make great recyclable bags. I use them to go shopping. Oh, food
Exactly.
shopping. They make great bags.
Yes! But guess what, Al? They're not just for groceries. These are light as air, 1.3 ounces, but they can hold up to 50 pounds. And you're right.
You
they're
put a
made
kid
out of-
in there.
Well, now.
Yes!
And Chassie, we're running out of time, but real quick, we have to get to this umbrella because Al claims it makes it rain.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. This is so from Jen Fallick's Better Basics part of the show. She talks about things that elevate the everyday and she finds the coolest products. So this umbrella, it is called the 2-layer inverted umbrella, and it is so genius. So what you do is it opens and closes inside out. So when you close it, the wet part goes on the inside. The dry part stays on the outside, so there are no puddles. And then, see that C handle?
Yeah.
You can slide it over your wrist or your forearm and walk around hands-free.
Chassie Post making it rain.
I love it.
That's
Thank you
genius,
so
actually.
much for joining us this
Food, in a way, unlocks a lot of stories.
It's this emotional connection that we get through eating that food that is really irreplaceable.
My name is Chitra Agarwal. I'm a co-founder at Brooklyn Deli, where we make sauces and condiments inspired by my family's recipes from India.
My name is Katevi, and I'm the chef and owner of Dumpling Club, a weekly subscription service that features a rotating menu of dumplings and Asian dishes.
I started Brooklyn Deli in 2014. Our first products at Brooklyn Deli were my achars, which are a staple Indian condiment. They're kind of like this spicy, sour, a little bit sweet. So you add just a little bit and it kind of just makes the dish like amazing. I developed a lot of the recipes for achar using what I was getting in my farm share. So I was making achar from heirloom tomatoes, garlic, gooseberries. I wouldn't say that it's authentic Indian food. It's very much inspired by my heritage, but it's authentic to me.
My grandfather comes from a region in northern China that specializes in dumplings. And to him, dumplings were the perfect food, the best food. I use all sorts of influences in the dumplings. For example, influences from my husband's Austrian side. That's not traditionally how dumplings would be made. I'm learning to be really comfortable with that. In the beginning, I felt like that wasn't truly authentic. But I actually now feel that that's very authentic to me and my experience.
A labor of love learned from generations before them.
The pleating sort of represents on the outside the amount of care that's been put into this food. Whenever we made them as a family, seeing the pleats that my mom or that my grandfather added to the dumplings would remind me that they were the ones who prepared this food for me.
My father's mother, we were just very close. I can still remember the food that she would give me. I can still taste it. They're kind of like food memories from when I was really young, and those continued on as I visited her every year in India. Every trip, we would be in the kitchen.
Growing up, we didn't have regular access to Asian grocery, but I learned about the importance of food from my mom. She would use spaghetti whenever she was making stir-fried noodles. Her creativity, that creative spirit that she had when it came to replicating her home food through whatever ingredients that she had on hand, that's what I feel really inspired by.
Both women left stable jobs for their culinary careers.
It was a really scary time because, I mean, I had been working for over a decade in positions where I had benefits, I had an ongoing salary that I could count on.
I left Google in the fall of 2019, and already that year I was starting to make dumplings, send them around to friends and family, and when I decided to really start in earnest was in February 2020, conveniently 1 month before the pandemic hit and everything shut down. I didn't have a steady job or an income at that time, and whenever I had a spare moment, I'd fold dumplings, and then I would stay up all hours editing footage and putting it up on Instagram, and we were just trying to survive.
Despite the pandemic, their businesses not only survived, but thrived.
Our public sales tend to sell out within a few minutes. One time it sold out in less than a minute.
For us, it's been great because more people want to try the flavors that we're putting out there and want to learn more about Indian food and culture. Everything that I really learned how to make, I learned from different family members. So I feel like, in some sense, the Brooklyn Deli recipes also are a way for our family recipes to kind of live on.
When my parents came to the States, they really came here with nothing. And I'm super cognizant of that now, that it's a huge privilege to be able to do what I love, to go after what I love. And that has come from years of sacrifice and hard work from my parents. And knowing that, I want to take that privilege and make sure that I do something really positive with it.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
There are a few things that make me happier than physically farming. Big, sweaty, kind of brutal tasks. I think I've always known in some form that this farm and this work around connecting people and land needed to exist.
You wanna be free of your anxiety.
So catchy. I think the wind likes it.
My name is Leah Penniman, and I'm the founding co-director at Soulfire Farm in Grafton, New York. Soulfire Farm is a Black Indigenous-led community farm that's dedicated to ending racism in the food system and training up the next generation of activist farmers. Between 1% and 2% of farms are Black-owned, which is down from a peak of 14% of Black-owned farms in 1910. And this is not because Black folks don't want to farm. This is because of a whole legacy of discrimination, of institutional racism. I grew up in a small rural town called Ashburnham, Massachusetts. I'm the oldest of 3, and we were, for most of our childhood, the only brown kids in our entire school. And we experienced just a lot of social exclusion and racial bullying. It ranged from taunting, being called names, to assumptions about our intelligence. The land and the forest were a salvation for me. I attended every single farming conference that I could afford to go to. But by my late teens, early 20s, I started to get disillusioned because I'd look around at these farming conferences and all the presenters were white, and I looked around and there was only a handful of people of color. A mentor of mine said something so important to me at that time. She was just like, look, don't give up. I know that right now it seems like you're out of place, but remember that our ancestors have been farmers for millennia and that our ancestors built the agricultural system of this country on their backs. I was really grateful that she was there and encouraged me to stick with it. My partner Jonah and I were living in the south end of Albany, New York with our then infant children, Nashima and Emmett. And despite our master's degrees and over a decade of farming experience, found it impossible to get fresh food for our children. There were no supermarkets, no farmers markets, no available community garden plots. The only food is a corner store, a liquor store, and a McDonald's. This system of segregation is termed by the government a food desert. To us, there's nothing natural about apartheid. So we call it what it is, it's food apartheid. It comes out of a legacy of redlining and housing discrimination, of divestment from communities of color, and has resulted in the situation today where if you're white, you're 4 times as likely to have a supermarket on your block than if you're Black. You're more likely to have diabetes, heart disease, and other diet-related illnesses, not because you don't know how to eat, but because there is a scarcity of affordable, culturally appropriate quality food that's accessible. And so we work to establish a community garden right on the corner plot near our home. So when our neighbors found out that we knew how to farm, they encouraged us to start the Farm for the People, and the idea for Soulfire Farm was born. We purchased the land in 2006, and it took us 4 years to transform this marginal, degraded, and vacant land into human habitat and suitable farmland. And we opened the farm in 2011 with a small food distribution program that went right to our neighbors in the South End. A couple thousand folks roll through here every year to attend our farm training programs.
The rest of you are just going to contemplate and pray for the strawberries' happy homemaking.
There are 8 of us working here on the farm. We have an amazing team. We have a number of day-long programs and week-long camps for youth who are interested in farming, and a whole lot of community days and workshops on particular skills. It's really whatever our community is asking us for, we do our best to provide. Our most popular is the week-long BIPOC Fire, stands for Black Indigenous People of Color, Farming in Relationship with Earth. We have folks coming from 37 states and 3 countries this year, Spanish and English speakers, young and old. And we spend a week together doing hands-on-the-land training. We have a number of courses on business management, marketing, as well as crop planning. If you count everyone who's gone through any program, we have over 10,000 alumni. We provide ongoing and forever mentorship. We hook folks up with jobs, land, fellowships, and other opportunities. Land is the place where the lynchings, the beatings, the enslavement, the sharecropping took place. And so there's no way to escape the trauma associated with that. And so a big part of what I and we are trying to do at Soulfire is to reach back across the narrative of the hundreds of years of land-based oppression to Cleopatra's compost piles and the raised beds of the Ovambo people in Namibia, to reach back to the work of Dr. George Washington Carver, creating regenerative agriculture, and Dr. Booker T. Watley with Farm to Table. So to really reclaim the dignity of it is super important. If we can't feed ourselves, we can't truly be free.
All right, so everyone who's part of the tour, just come a little closer. We'll go ahead and get started. We're gonna travel around the farm together, get a chance to visit some of the sacred sites, hear the stories, and you can ask your questions as well as we go. So follow me this way.
Community Farm Day is our monthly public event where volunteers come from all around the region to share in the labor of the land, to have a potluck lunch, and then to participate in a tour and Q&A session. It's the one time that the farm's open to the public.
Now, what's very important with strawberries is that their meristem or growth point is right here. So what do you think happens if you bury that?
Drowning.
It will not grow.
We have a bunch of different teams working on different tasks, including transplanting the fall strawberries, cleaning and curing the garlic and onions, harvesting potatoes, removing some of the materials and supplies that we're done with for the season. And Jonah will be working with some volunteers, many of whom have traveled 3 or 4 hours just to get here today. We have a lot of teens that come through the farm, and not all of them are going to be farmers, but they see folks who look like them following their dreams and being their own bosses and running their own institutions. What matters to me is that they can see a wider vision of what's possible for their own lives.
This is what we're trying to get to, so it's great to see it in person. Yeah, it's a goal. It makes my heart flutter. Like, honestly, I'm so inspired.
When I say 5, you say minutes. 5. 5 minutes. Until lunch, which means you should please help all the teams clean up and put everything away.
I know.
She tried to.
We do doorstep delivery of vegetables, eggs, pastured meat, and herbs, and folks can actually pay for that using their EBT benefits. The vast majority of people say that having those vegetables has made a huge difference in their health, whether that's a reduction in blood pressure or cholesterol or overall sense of well-being. And especially for our lower income members, many of them say if it wasn't for those vegetables, they'd literally be eating ramen and boiled pasta and canned foods because they simply don't have anywhere to get fresh food like we offer. There's nothing that makes me happier than seeing our alumni farm. So for example, Dallas Robinson in North Carolina just recently opened the Harriet Tubman Farm. Folks like Keisha Cameron outside of Atlanta, Georgia at High Hog Farm. Fundamentally, I want to create a different kind of educational environment for young people that I never got to experience, where you can go ahead and be proud to be a soil nerd, and you also will have your culture uplifted, your heritage uplifted, and be affirmed for who you are and encouraged to pursue your wildest dreams.
I see Leah and I stand there and I listen to her and I'm just in complete awe. Like I feel a physical reaction in my body and I just want to be quiet and listen.
I've had mixed feelings in the past around doing public speaking. It always seemed like the real work was here on the farm and then I'd go out and just talk about the real work. And something shifted for me when I witnessed how many people who heard our talks then went on to join a program to learn how to farm, or did something like give away their land to a Black farmer. It's really an honor and pleasure to be here with all of you. I feel excited, I feel deeply pleased to talk about 2 of my favorite things, which are the earth and the ancestors and what they want us to be up to.
Skull caps, you're gonna grow so strong, so we wrote this song.
Our waiting list for our training programs is years long. Our people are yearning, right? Some of us confuse the scene of the crime, which was the land, with the crime. But the fact is the land has always had our back. In fact, we survived because of that connection with the land. My hope is that we spread our love, our knowledge, our resources out through the network of Black and brown farmers so that 10, 20 years from now, people will be like, wait, what's Soul Fire again? Because there's literally right around the corner a black and brown led teaching farm, so that it becomes so commonplace that we have to remind our children about a time when all the land was white owned and a time when all the farmers were exploited, because that's become such a distant memory.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Nice to have you with us. We wanted to surprise Ellie and make her wish come true. What do you think about coming to visit us? Yes.
There's only one thing that people are saying.
You are Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh yes. With Xfinity X5. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
You never know when you get diagnosed with ALS. I was strong. I spoke clearly. I was active. Now,
yeah, things have changed.
I'm letting everyone know that I was diagnosed with ALS approximately a month and a half ago. The last thing I want is for you to feel sorry for me. I feel great, and I am going to fight through this with a smile on my face. I was dealt these cards, and I'm going to play them the very best I can. When I was diagnosed, I'm by no means an artist. But when I did paint, it was very therapeutic for me. Once I got my bearings together and said there's nothing I could do about it, I decided to take a positive approach and form an organization to help others.
When your health changes, your mind, everything about you changes, and just the way you look at life and the way you want to help others, and the way that was the biggest thing with Paint for a Cure is what we've enjoyed most is our family, and we want others to not think about having to pay their mortgage when they have ALS, to really be able to enjoy their family and their time together. And that's really what Paint for a Cure stands for.
But don't be afraid to use plenty of paint on your brush. And if you need more, squirt more out.
But while you're working on the paint scene, I wanted to introduce Harriet.
In London. And I'm Jen. I wanted to say hi and thank you so much for supporting us. We appreciate it
raised over $100,000 during COVID is something really special, especially because I brought on board Trevor Stoffer, which is also an ALS patient, and we have collaborated together.
So we're actually with Paint for a Cure.
Oh, yeah.
And this is Eric and Trevor
Yes,
on Zoom right now.
We're in this fight together.
Yeah.
What we've created, Paint for a Cure, in such a short period of time, that's a very good accomplishment, and I hope it will continue on for years to come, helping families.
That you can help you out. And we're presenting it to you on behalf of this gentleman, Eric Weinbrenner. If you'd like to see him.
I am currently financially able to provide for my family. Unfortunately, that's not the case for everybody. The biggest thing that I'm scared about is not being here for my
for the family. I mean, it's not what's to come with his health. It's not being here and watching his kids grow up, or growing old together. That's devastating. It's almost, you go through the loss before you realize the gain that you have, and the time that you really do have together is just so much more important to be found as a family. So we don't take that for granted anymore because of this diagnosis, and knowing how every minute is so important.
because there are a lot of struggles in life, especially right now. But you know what? Things always turn around. They might be bad now, but if you have a positive mindset and if you work hard and you really set your mind to something, you will conquer that.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on and a reliable connection for all your devices, whenever and however you watch with Xfinity X5. Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day. Stay connected and stream the news you need with Xfinity X5.
Our top story is unfolding right now.
The fast speed you depend on.
We begin with breaking news right now in Florida.
And a reliable connection for all your devices.
This story matters to all of us.
Whenever and however you watch.
Our bite-sized mix of everything you love about all 4 hours of our show, but half the calories.
Oh yes. With Xfinity X5. Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today is now a podcast, available every morning. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
If somebody's putting their true passion and true love into it, that's a good beer.
By that definition, Chris Gansey has been making good beer for a decade. Gansey is the owner of Daleview Biscuits and Beer, the only black-owned brewery that brews on-site in all of New York State. And that happens in these tanks below a kitchen that's very busy, serving up biscuits and fried chicken by way of someone very special to both of us, our mutual hometown of Columbia, South Carolina. Where'd you go to middle school?
Gibbs.
Oh, yeah, we used to play you guys in basketball. We used to beat Gibbs all the time.
You sure about that?
Gansey says he didn't even drink beer until his wife gave him a small home brewing kit 10 years ago for Father's Day. Being from Columbia, South Carolina as well, I know, especially in the summertime, cookouts are big.
Yes.
You mean to tell me back then you weren't like drinking tall boy beers?
No, I was not drinking beer at all.
But 3 years ago, that hobby evolved into a business. How did you get from those home brewing kits to the owner of quite the establishment?
People that believed in me. I had my wife and some close friends who believed in the vision and kind of pushed me forward. It's like, you can do this. Why not spread the joy?
Now he's turning out craft beer and Carolina biscuits in the heart of Lefferts Garden, Brooklyn, intentionally choosing a historically black neighborhood to help integrate an industry with little diversity.
I wanted a place where I could be part of the community and also do a place to educate people around craft beer. Like, I feel a cold beer is something that can bring people together.
Out of the roughly 8,500 breweries in America, just about 60 are black owned.
My hope is we can help change mindsets in the neighborhood, because the neighborhood is changing and creating unity and equity. So that's my goal, to help create equity in this community.
Gansey is striving for more than exposure and equity, but for a few teaching moments as well. Daleview's beers are named after lesser-known civil rights leaders like Jamaican activist Paul Bogle and freedom rider Diane Nash.
These are the last 3 in existence. We sold out of this.
You sold out of
yes.
Diane Nash. It's a beautiful label. And I love that on the back you actually explain for folks who might be unfamiliar. Even better than the label is what's inside them. I'm not used to learning and drinking at the same time. This is a novel concept. Oh, it's not just beer?
No, it's also biscuits.
Wow. And let me tell you, a lot of folks won't recognize this, but that's pimento cheese.
What you know about pimento cheese?
That's, yeah, Columbia, South Carolina. I grew up. Had pimento cheese 3 times a day. My grandma would say, y'all put your foot in that. That is fantastic. Chicken thigh.
Of course.
Yeah, that's, oh boy. Al Roker's gonna love this. A taste of South Carolina, now educating Brooklyn beer drinkers, all thanks to a thoughtful present. Had your wife decided to give you a tie for Father's Day?
I'd probably be a tie maker.
Let me tell you,
Okay.
I had a lot of chicken biscuits in my day. The best ever.
The best ever.
Ever.
Wow. We're happy you tuned into our digital show. Today in 30, it's a little half hour of everything you need to know to catch up from our show.
Yeah, first up, we're going to have the latest on President Biden's plan to fight COVID. He's got sweeping new vaccine mandates that will impact tens of millions of Americans.
Also had our visit to the 9/11 museum with 3 men who lost their fathers in that attack and were inspired to follow in their footsteps as first responders themselves.